Welcome back to an episode of the Ministry of Truth. I am your only host on this show because, well, if anybody else tried to do it, I would probably fire them because that's just the way I am. And, well, it's good morning to everybody, to include you, Carmen. What do you mean by good timing? Good timing. I'm always good on timing. I was going to not go live today, but wow, think I'm going live. But we're not really going to talk about much. We're going to do two briefings, one by Caroline Leavitt, one by Donald Trump. And we're going to listen to part of the new Council on Fitness, the one, the only Triple H, who now is part of the President's administration. That's good, Carmen. It's always good to have a day off, especially on Fridays. But before we get into anything, I kind of want to play some music. I had picked 3 different tunes we're going to listen to while I, grind up my tea. Yes, it's only 8:30 in the morning, but when it's Friday and you don't have a job, huh? Anyway, this is from 15 years ago. Holy fuck. I'm old. Anyway, go get your coffee, go get your bagel, and I'll see you in a few minutes. I hope. Be right back. BRB. Few songs. This one is for the older generation. By older generation, I mean us as a kid, because I believe this song came out in the 80s, and a lot of us were kids, like single-digit age. So, it's a little flashback for y'all while I finish what I'm doing. I planned on music this morning, not just for three songs, because they were in my head, especially the rich one.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Jamaica, off the Florida Keys. There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Kokomo, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take it to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go to the Kokomo? We can get fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where I wanna go.
Down to Kokomo.
Martinique, that Montserrat mystique. We'll put out to sea, and we'll perfect our chemistry. By and by we'll defy
Have a great one
a
here.
little bit of gravity. Afternoon delight, cocktails and moonlit nights. That dreamy look in your eye, give me a tropical contact high. Way down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go?
All right. One more. This song I wasn't going to play, but it popped up when I was looking for music. And, well, this is more for, whatever. You'll listen to it. And this will be the last song before we start our show. My show. Your show. Because you're here and you're watching. Sorry, I'm nostalgic today. What's up, Joe? In a minute. How you doing?
I spoke to God today, and she said that she's ashamed. What have I become? What have I done? I spoke to the devil today, and he swears he's not to blame. And I understood, 'cause I feel the same. Arms wide open, I stand alone. I'm no hero, and I'm not made of stone. Right or wrong, I can hardly tell. I'm on the wrong side of heaven, and the righteous side of hell. The wrong side of heaven, and the righteous side. The righteous
I love movie pop. Any of the combat people that were outside, doing the combat missions, our M4s never had a carrying handle. None of my ARs have a carrying handle. And if you're wondering what a carrying handle is,
righteous side.
can you see my mouse? No, you can't see my mouse, of course not. So if you look in the middle of the screen right below his beard, there's a little handle looking thing. And those are for people that typically never go outside the wire, because we take this off and we put some sort of optic on top of it. But that's just besides the point. Now we're going to get into our first story of the day, which I can't remember what it was. I think this might be humor in the morning. So every once in a while I do like to watch certain things going on in Congress, which would be the Senate and the House. This one doesn't really mean anything, but it's funny nonetheless because, well, it doesn't matter who it happened to. We're all going to laugh. Now, I want you to pay attention to Miss Elizabeth Warren over here on the right side of your screen. Wait for
Senators
it.
voting in the affirmative: Baldwin, Blunt Rochester,
And she
Durbin,
fell.
Heinrich, Hirono, Kane.
Dumb bitch tried to sit on a desk, not realizing that desks move. And of all the things she could sit on, she chose the table between the desks. The weakest part. Should have leaned up against the fucking desk, you moron. Pocahontas. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, okay. So this is a continuation of the story that I talked about where the one child was dropped off in some guy's yard, or some random yard. And later on down the road, they found a car with the family members, 4 family members, all dead. So I believe they have a suspect.
From WREG
Identified.
in Memphis, this is News Channel 3 at 4.
And breaking news on your news leader at 4, a manhunt this afternoon for the suspect wanted for killing 4 members of one family in West Tennessee.
They say 28-year-old Austin Drummond is considered armed and dangerous. He is charged with killing 21-year-old James Wilson, 20-year-old Adriana Williams, 38-year-old Courtney Rose, and 15-year-old Braden Williams.
Shit.
Their bodies were found in Lake County. They are all family members of a baby who was abandoned earlier in the day in Dyer County. Thank you for joining us. I'm April Thompson.
I'm Alex Coleman. Now, this is the vehicle authorities believe Drummond could be driving. It's a 2016 Audi A3 with Tennessee plates RI01896. The vehicle also has damage to the driver's side.
Now, we have learned that Drummond, who is from Jackson, Tennessee, was just released from prison last September for robbing a convenience store. And the district attorney confirmed to News Channel 3 that he either was dating or had dated a relative of one of the victims, Adriana Williams. The 4 victims' bodies were found in a rural area in Lake County on Tuesday. Now, although they were all from nearby Dyer County.
Now, of course, it is a scene that has completely shocked the small community in Lake County. That's where WREG's Mike Suriani joins us live. Mike, what have you learned so far?
Hey, good afternoon, Alice and April. I'm on Carrington Road, about 5 miles from Tiptonville. Now, behind me, about a mile down that road, is where law enforcement officers made that gruesome discovery Tuesday.
Looks like the road I'd take my Jeep on.
And Carrington Road is only about 2 miles long, winding through a wildlife refuge near Reelfoot Lake. Today, I located the site where TBI agents found those 4 victims Tuesday, and where 2 vehicles were recovered, a white SUV and a dark-colored sedan. The TBI pledging to find the responsible person or persons, and today announcing 28-year-old Austin Robert Drummond is wanted for 4 counts of first-degree murder. Good news that still does not lessen the shock of people who live nearby.
It's very shocking to have something happen this close to home. I mean, this is a very tight-knit community and very loving community, and something for this to happen is just shocking and just hurtful, and why anybody would want to do something like that, and it's just horrible.
And back out here live,
we
are going to have complete continuing coverage on this.
The back of the car. Look at this shit. Hold on. Pay attention to the back.
And back out here.
Look at that. Look at that. That's one hell of a car, huh? Huh? Fucking Western Tennessee.
Live, we have complete continuing coverage on this terrible event.
These murders, since it is so close to Arkansas, he probably fled the state. That's what the guy that did the that was in Memphis that was doing the shootings on Facebook Live. He tried to get to Arkansas. Actually, I believe he made it to Arkansas, but they still got him. So this next one, I did say this is part of the White House briefing. This actually came on as I ended my show yesterday, so I could have stayed on for a little longer, but now I got something for us to watch today. So this is the White House press briefing from yesterday morning, afternoon-ish. Let's get into it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, Caroline.
We have a lot of news today, and I have quite a few announcements for you, so let's get to it. First, on behalf of the President and the White House, we express our deepest condolences to the family of New York police officer Islam, who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of his fellow New Yorkers. As the funeral services are held in New York City today, everyone at the White House is keeping the officer's family, friends, and fellow NYPD law enforcement officers in our thoughts and prayers. The President has always, and will always, proudly stand with our men and women in blue. May God bless Officer Islam and the other individuals who were tragically killed in this senseless act of violence. In other news, President Trump's working visit to Scotland was a huge success. In less than 48 hours, President Trump brokered the biggest, most impactful trade deal in history and prevented a war in Asia for the second time since he took office. We have never had a president who wields the full power of the United States to negotiate good deals for our country and its people like President Trump. This is what maximum leverage looks like. On the peace front, President Trump helped deliver an immediate and unconditional ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia. The two countries were engaged in a deadly conflict that had displaced more than 300,000 people until President Trump stepped in to put an end to it. The president spoke directly on the phone with the acting Prime Minister of Thailand and the Prime Minister of Cambodia to inform both leaders that unless they brought their conflict to an end, there would be no trade discussions or agreements with the United States. Almost immediately afterward, a peace was brokered that will save thousands of lives and allowed for trade negotiations with these countries to resume, and they have. The president has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia and Kosovo, and Egypt and Ethiopia.
How about Israel and Palestine? Or, hear me out, just let them fight it out. Let them fight it out.
This means President Trump has brokered, on average, about one peace deal or ceasefire per month during his 6 months in office. It's well past time that President Trump was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I know the topic of Israel is on everyone's mind. I have an update from Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who I got off the phone with this morning. Special Envoy Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee had a very productive meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu and other officials today in Israel on the topic of delivering much-needed food and aid to Gaza. President Trump is a...
Just want to show this real quick. Not that... Where'd it go? You know, just to take, what's really funny from what happened yesterday on a certain channel, which now I have another content creator who I really dislike because, well, if you watched his stream yesterday, go back and not watch it. You'll see why. But another reason I'm showing this because Facebook does have saved pages. It does. However, mine aren't sexual in nature. Fitness, house, idiots, because that's for the mainstream media, news, because I hadn't changed it to idiots, and podcast, which I haven't been on that one since fuck God knows forever. So, I mean, just a thought. Just a thought. All right, that's enough. But, like I said, if you're going to have a stream and you have kids yelling in the background coming into your room and the topic of conversation is sexual in nature, you might want to put your headphones on, be a little quieter, because, you were getting a little upset. You could tell. I could hear it. For a while there, I thought you were crying. Apparently you don't like me calling you a cuck.
The humanitarian with a big heart. And that's why he sent Special Envoy Witkoff to the region in an effort to save lives and end this crisis.
We sent so many of these envoys to Israel. Nothing happens. Ceasefire gets brokered. And then all of a sudden, Hamas broke that ceasefire. Dude, we've seen it over and over and over again that it's Israel that always breaks the ceasefire. So how about we sanction Israel?
And Ambassador Huckabee will be traveling into Gaza to inspect the current distribution sites and secure a plan to deliver more food and meet with local Gazans to hear firsthand about this dire situation on the ground. The special envoy and the ambassador will brief the president immediately after their visit to approve a final plan for food and aid distribution into the region. And we will provide more details for all of you once that plan is approved and agreed on by the President of the United States. On the trade front, the president secured a historic trade agreement with the European Union that puts America first and fundamentally strengthens the economic relationship between the two largest economies in the world. This deal delivers on two of President Trump's core promises on trade, supercharging America's manufacturing capacity and opening up foreign market access to American businesses. The deal guarantees that American businesses will have unprecedented levels of access to the European Union markets to export our American-made goods. Also, as part of this agreement, the EU will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy to strengthen our energy dominance.
So there's a story out there that Trump is getting really, really perturbed with India right now because apparently India has been buying oil from Russia and has no plan on stopping. And remember, Trump said that if you buy from Russia, you will be sanctioned as well, or have a tariff of 100%. Didn't we just have a deal with India on tariffs?
Reduce European reliance on adversarial sources, and narrow our trade deficit with the EU. The EU will also make new investments of $60 billion in the United States, in addition to the more than $100 billion the EU companies already invest in the US every year. All of these massive purchases and investments will happen by the end of 2028.
Oh,
What
shit.
we are watching is President Trump rebuilding the greatest economy in the history of the world and simultaneously proving the so-called economic experts wrong at every turn. Media pundits said a trade deal with the EU this monumental and beneficial to America would be impossible.
Like how you don't,
but
we're not
President
going
Trump made it
to
happen.
see all these investments until the end of 2028? You mean the last of Trump's presidency?
The so-called economic experts repeatedly said that the American economy would be in a recession this summer. Well, summer is here. It's almost over. And that recession does not exist. Yesterday, in fact, real GDP growth in the second quarter increased at a 3.0% annual rate, significantly above expectations. President Trump's America First policies are driving economic growth, as he always said they would. And this growth
Unfortunately, we know that. Even President Donald Trump claims to be MAGA, claims to be America First. Claims.
growth is being driven by the private sector, not the government. Federal government spending fell for a second straight quarter, while real business fixed investment rose by nearly 2% following its first quarter surge. President Trump is right-sizing government spending, reversing the damage done by the Biden administration, and allowing the private sector to flourish. The same so-called experts claimed that President Trump's tariffs would spike inflation and hurt American consumers. But consumer spending growth just accelerated, and inflation remains right on track. For the past 5 straight months, core inflation has come in below market expectation and remains in line with the Fed's 2% inflation target. Meanwhile, customs and tariff revenues have already totaled more than $150 billion since President Trump took office, leading to the first June budget surplus in nearly a decade. Those revenues will skyrocket even further starting tomorrow when new reciprocal tariff rates take effect. President Trump is restoring America's economic sovereignty by reducing our reliance on foreign countries, boosting investment in the U.S. to the tune of trillions of dollars, and creating hundreds of thousands of high-paying jobs for the American people. With America finally put first on trade and the largest middle-class tax cuts in history and other pro-growth provisions of the One Big Beautiful Bill beginning to take effect, the American economy will boom like never before over the course of the next 3.5 years, thanks to the president's vision. Finally, as you all know, the president signed an executive order earlier this year to solve the problem of exorbitant pharmaceutical pricing. According to recent data, the prices that Americans have been paying for brand name drugs are more than 3 times the price other similarly developed nations pay. The president is determined to solve this problem and took further action today. He has signed 17 letters to pharmaceutical companies' CEOs. And I would like to read you one of these letters to the CEO of Eli Lilly. All of these letters will be provided to you following this briefing. This is to the CEO of Eli Lilly from the President of the United States. On May 12, 2025, I signed an executive order delivering most favored nation prescription drug pricing to American patients to stop global freeloading and guarantee that Americans pay the same prices enjoyed by other developed nations. Right now, brand name drugs in the United States are up to 3 times higher on average than anywhere else for the identical medicines. This unacceptable burden on hardworking American families ends with my administration. Most proposals the Trump administration has received to resolve this critical issue promised more of the same, shifting blame and requesting policy changes that would result in billions of dollars in handouts to industry. Moving forward, the only thing I will accept from drug manufacturers is a commitment that provides American families immediate relief from the vastly inflated drug prices and an end to the free ride of American innovation by European and other developed nations.
Out of all these investments that's coming to the United States, how many of them will be drug manufacturers? I mean, that would be one hell of a way to lower the drug prices, is if we stopped getting from foreign countries like China. Do we have any? You know what? Continue.
Accordingly, I'm calling on Eli Lilly and Company and every manufacturer doing business in our great country to take the following actions within the next 60 days. Extend the most favored nation pricing to Medicaid, guarantee most favored nation pricing for newly launched drugs, return increased revenues abroad to American patients and taxpayers, provide for direct purchasing at most favored nation pricing. The President's team, including Secretary Kennedy and Administrator Oz, stand ready to implement these terms.
So Eli Lilly, Merck, and Pfizer all have manufacturers here in the United States, yet those are some of the highest priced drugs out there. And it's funny, Merck does drugs. One of our medical books was the Merck manual, and it comes out every year, and it pretty much goes over any changes to medications and treatment for certain illnesses.
The President expects to further engage with them immediately in good faith to deliver relief for American families. Make no mistake, a collaborative effort towards achieving global pricing parity would be the most effective path for companies, the government, and American patients. But if you refuse to step up, we will deploy every tool in our arsenal to protect American families from continued abusive drug pricing practices. Americans are demanding lower drug prices, and they need them today. Other nations have been freeloading on U.S. innovation for far too long.
I thought they were lowered. Didn't Joe Biden pull that off? Remember? Pick like 10 to 15 major drugs, that's first iteration, and then we're supposed to add more later and later. But I don't remember hearing anything after that initial one.
And it is time they pay their fair share. I look forward to your binding commitments to each of these goals by September 29th, 2025, and my team stands ready to assist with implementation questions. Thank you for your immediate attention to this vital national priority. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Again, to the CEO of Eli Lilly. This letter, in its form, has been designed for each of the 17 major drug and pharmaceutical companies in the United States, and we're happy to provide you the full list. And I believe you will see all 17 letters popping on Truth Social very shortly, so you can look out for those, and I'm happy to take any further questions. Before we get to questions, I do have one other announcement from the White House and from the President. We are proud to announce that the construction of the new White House ballroom will begin.
All right, I'm going to show you this real quick. So this is one of the things I find out that's really fucked up with this place, the country, as far as medication-wise. I'm going to show you what the price of Narcan is average on the street. And it says $50 for a 2-pack. You can get it for 2-pack for $50, and it's available over the counter. Now let's change that over to something that's way more important to people in the United States, and it's called an EpiPen, which is for anaphylactic shock for anybody that gets stung by a bee, allergic reaction to just about anything that could be deadly. A 2-pack is $650. Tell me the priorities aren't wrong when it comes to that. Those are the kind of drug prices they need to bring down that they won't touch.
For 150 years, presidents, administrations, and White House staff have longed for a large event space on the White House complex that can hold substantially more guests than currently allowed. President Trump has expressed his commitment to solving this problem on behalf of future administrations and the American people. The White House is one of the most beautiful and historic buildings in the world. Yet the White House is currently unable to host major functions, honoring world leaders in other countries without having to install a large and unsightly tent approximately 100 yards away from the main building's entrance. The White House State Ballroom will be a much needed and exquisite addition of approximately 90,000 total square feet of innately designed and carefully crafted space with a seated capacity of 650 people, which is a significant increase from the 200-person seated capacity in the East Room of the White House. In recent weeks, President Trump has held several meetings with members of the White House staff, the National Park Service, the White House military.
Well, this is the concept for the White House. And you remember how I said when the White House ballroom, but when I was talking about how if you look at the way the Oval Office is now, all that extra gold trim they had added, this is the concept for stupid. Well, just make it bigger because right now it's being dumb. So this is the concept for the ballroom. Look at the trim. Look at the what's going to be their lighting, their chandeliers. Remember what I was talking about, the gold in Fort Knox? Maybe the gold in Fort Knox isn't there. Maybe it's hidden in the White House. It'd be a hell of a place to hide it, wouldn't it?
Office and the United States Secret Service to discuss design features and planning. President Trump has chosen McCreary Architects as the lead architect, which is well known for their classical architectural design and based right here in our nation's capital.
Classical.
The construction team will be headed by Clark Construction, and the engineering team will be led by AECOM. The project will begin in September 2025, and it is expected to be completed long before the end of President Trump's term. President Trump and other donors have generously committed to donating the funds necessary to build this approximately $200 million structure. The United States Secret Service will provide the necessary security enhancements and modifications. The White House ballroom will be substantially separated from the main building of the White House, but at the same time, its theme and architectural heritage will be almost identical. The site of the new ballroom will be where the small, heavily changed and reconstructed East Wing currently sits. The East Wing was constructed in 1902 and has been renovated and changed many times, with a second story added in 1942. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has provided the following statement. President Trump is a builder at heart and has an extraordinary eye for detail. The President and the Trump White House are fully committed to working with the appropriate organizations to preserve the special history of the White House while building a beautiful ballroom that can be enjoyed by future administrations and generations of Americans to come. In the White House, we will continue to provide the American public and all of you in the press with updates on this project at whitehouse.gov.
I don't know, somebody might not agree. I think that's a great fucking idea. I'm honestly surprised we don't have one on the White House property. A grand ballroom. You know how many functions you can hold in there?
Visit. And if you go there shortly, you will be able to see renderings and visuals of what this ballroom will look like, both the exterior and the interior. I have provided some photos for all of you today. This is the interior of the ballroom space. It's quite beautiful. And then this is the exterior of the ballroom space. As you can see, it will come off of the executive mansion as it sits today, and the East Wing will be modernized and renovated. We're happy to answer any further questions on that, Jennifer. Since you're so eager, I will go to you, but first, as always, I want to start with our new media seat, Ben Weingarten. Why don't you go ahead, Ben?
Thank you. In light of the release, the declassification of the annex to the Durham report today, beyond any potential prosecutions, the outcomes of which will likely be uncertain.
That report and how President Barack Obama is basically, aside from Hillary Clinton, who they have signed documents now approving all this, but Barack Obama apparently does have immunity. But at the same time, he doesn't. So if they do try to pull that presidential immunity shit that they approved during Biden's administration, he still has to testify, and he can't plead the fifth. So whatever his deposition is, and then he comes to testify before the Congress, he can be held for, what's the fucking word? I just had it in my head. Perjury. They can get him for perjury.
What does the president believe justice for Russiagate ought to entail? Might it include restitution for those whose lives were upended as a consequence of Russiagate, and perhaps a major reorganization of the national security apparatus?
Well, I think a major organization of the national security apparatus, at least here at the White House within the National Security Council, has indeed taken place, and the president entrusts his current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, and our ODNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, to make the necessary changes to ensure classified intelligence, especially that could implement or hurt the national security of our country, does not make its way into the hands of irresponsible actors who want to politicize that intelligence for their own end. Since you brought up the declassification report that was put out by Senator Grassley today, I'm glad you brought it up, because this should be a story every outlet in this room should be covering. This is further evidence that Hillary Clinton approved the Russia hoax against President Trump. Her campaign financed it. Again, she approved it. And the FBI and the CIA were both weaponized to, as our director of CIA has said, accelerate this hoax against then candidate and former President Trump. To answer the heart of your question, the president wants to see justice served, and he trusts the Attorney General and the Department of Justice to implement that justice and hold these people accountable.
One more question, briefly,
Sure.
if I may, on a totally different topic.
Just like with the Epstein client list, no one's going to be held accountable. I mean, the best way they can, like I said, is get Obama with perjury. What are they going to do with Hillary? Nothing. Now, if Trump made his promise kept from his fucking 2015, 2016 campaign, that would be a promises made, promises kept. But it's not going to happen. Our DOJ right now, even the previous DOJ, was fucking pointless, useless, and never really got around to taking care of serious crimes. And just because it's got a new head, a new name, a new direction, we can see our DOJ is still corrupt and useless. Right, Pam?
There's been legislation reintroduced in the House and Senate on designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. The Muslim Brotherhood is considered by many to be the fountainhead of Sunni Islamic supremacism,
I thought it was
from
a
which
terrorist
Hamas
organization.
and other groups have spawned, with a nexus to domestic organizations as well. Does the president support designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization?
Frankly, I'm not sure, because I haven't talked to him, and I would never want to get ahead of
I
the
always
National
thought they
Security
were.
Council on specific designations. It sounds like something this administration would support, but we can get a firm answer for you. How's that?
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Jennifer, go ahead. Eager beaver today.
How much of the East Wing will be torn down? The entire East Wing or just parts of it?
So the East Wing is going to be modernized. The necessary construction will take place, and for those who are housed in the East Wing, including the Office of the First Lady, the White House Military Office, the White House Visitors Offices, those offices will be temporarily relocated while the East Wing is being modernized.
And then on Israel-Gaza, there are some reports that negotiations with Hamas might not be continuing. Did you get any updates from Steve Witkoff on that?
I did. Special Envoy Witkoff is actively talking with our counterparts in Israel about that, and he wants to give some grace to the president so he can fully brief the president on what he's learning on the ground in both Israel and Gaza. But the president put out a very strong statement on Truth Social this morning, which I'm sure you saw, and he said the quickest way to end this entire conflict, the humanitarian crisis that we've seen, and the crisis in Israel that of course started on October 7th when Hamas brutally kidnapped and raped innocent Israelis, that terrible terrorist attack, is for Hamas to surrender, to release all of the hostages, and to end this conflict. And that's what the president wants to see. He's made that very clear.
Are we just going to ignore the casualties
will be in
on
Gaza
the
tomorrow,
other
as I shared
side?
with you previously. Josh.
Can you give us a little more clarity on the tariff timing? You said that the reciprocals will take effect tomorrow.
Yes.
Does that include the new auto rates, for instance, on Japan, Korea, the EU? Is this all coming effective tomorrow?
So some of the countries you just mentioned, Japan, South Korea, they have bespoke trade deals that the president cut, which, just to backtrack for a second, Josh,
15%.
we promised that the president would negotiate with countries all around the world to cut tailor-made trade deals depending on those countries' challenges, how badly they've ripped off the United States of America and our manufacturing industry and our workforce in the past. And he has done that. Of our 18 major trading partners, 2/3 of those trading partners have a deal. We've sent out 17 letters to countries around the world. And the rest of those countries that either do not have a deal or have a letter, they will be hearing from this administration by the midnight deadline tonight. So yes, tomorrow, August 1st, the reciprocal rates will be going into effect. If more deals are cut between now and midnight, I will never count out the president. You've seen him do it before. He cut 3 deals in one day very recently. So we'll see what happens. I do know foreign leaders are ringing his phone, realizing this deadline
it's too
is
late
a real
now.
thing for them tomorrow, and they're bringing offers to the table.
We were reporting that the president wants to meet David Solomon of Goldman Sachs today. Can you say what they'll discuss, if anything, in that meeting?
I won't discuss the president's private meetings from this podium, and it hasn't taken place
Why
yet
isn't he meeting
unless he
with
gives me
bankers?
liberty to do so.
And finally, have you talked with the president about his position on the stock trading ban bill before Congress? He obviously had pretty loaded comments about Senator Hawley. There's some reporting that they've since spoken. What is his position on the current status of that bill?
The president has spoken to Senator Hawley, who called him, and the president took that call. As the president said in the Roosevelt Room yesterday, conceptually, he of course supports the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. And the reason that this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million.
The dissent that Hawley has, we saw this yesterday. Even Rand Paul said he's going to vote for this in the final vote. But Hawley wanted to ensure that Trump and the executive branch were free from investigation into this. That was kind of weird, but
in 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year, and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process. As for the mechanics of the legislation and how it will move forward, the White House continues to be in discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill. Emily, in a new seat today.
Thanks, Caroline. I wanted to ask about this report that the president wants to host a G20 meeting at Trump Durrell. How is he going to do that, considering all the preparations that have been going on in South Africa? And also, would that be seen as his businesses possibly profiting from hosting this kind of meeting?
I would reject that premise entirely. We have announcements and details forthcoming on the G20, but my understanding is no firm announcement is ready to be made at this time. I did see the report, but we're not in a place to confirm it just yet.
Michelle? Just on the tariffs, what are the logistics for imposing those? Does the president have to sign an executive order tonight? What's the timing of that?
Yes, and he will be signing an executive order at some point this afternoon or later this evening. And as always, we'll keep you posted when that happens, and it will be released from our office.
And there's some of these countries that have they all had contact with U.S. officials, or are there some countries that are going to get letters that have had no opportunity to negotiate with the United States?
Well, there's a lot of countries that I know have reached out. I believe it's upwards of 200 countries around the world have reached out to the trade and tariff team. Of course, as I said previously, and the president said, we're going to prioritize our key trading partners, which we have done. Like I said, of the 18, 2/3 of those we have cut these tailor-made deals with. But I do know that the trade team has been working around the clock to try to be in correspondence with as many countries as possible. But if they haven't heard from us yet, they will in the form of a letter or an executive order by midnight tonight.
Right, looking at the clock.
We'll go to the back. Sure, go ahead. In the back left.
Thank you.
Amanda, yes.
Thank you very much. I have a talk to ask about the U.S.
Amanda, you can go on.
U.S. and South Korea tariff negotiations. At the tariff negotiation between South Korea and the United States concluded yesterday. President Trump stated on his SNS, Truth Social, that he would announce the specific details of the investment in the United States at the South Korea-United States Summit in 2 weeks. My question is this tariff negotiation a final agreement, or is further negotiation necessary?
Well, yes, as you know, the president met with representatives of the Republic of South Korea here at the White House yesterday, and they did, in fact, reach a deal. And South Korea will pay a 15% tariff rate, including 15% on autos, while providing historic market access to American goods like autos and rice. Korea will purchase $100 billion in American energy by 2028. And the centerpiece of this deal is that South Korea has agreed to invest $350 billion at the president's direction to revitalize American industry. 90% of those profits will go to the United States government to help pay down our debt and for other matters at the president's choosing. So it was a very successful meeting yesterday.
Do you have any set up the further U.S.-South Korea summit day?
I'll get you something on that. I don't have it at my fingertips. Okay, Amanda.
Thank you, Caroline. There are a number of congressional Republicans who have raised the alarm about the fact that roughly 80% of pharmaceuticals are either manufactured or their precursors are manufactured in either China or India. There are some pieces of legislation, some recommendations, which include either onshoring, nearshoring, or friendshoring, those components of that. Do you know if the president intends to throw the weight of the executive behind that?
I don't have any updates for you at this time. I do have an update on our EU trade deal. I stand corrected. It's not $60 billion in investments. It's $600 billion in investments. I want to make that very clear. And I personally watched the president behind closed doors with the European president in Scotland negotiating this deal. And he got the most juice out of that squeeze that he could. And he was constantly looking out for America's interests. So I just wanted to clarify that one point. Deanna.
Thanks, Caroline. For the countries that don't have a deal yet, should we be looking at the April 2nd chart at all? Or is he negotiating and talking about having a set tariff rate?
Yeah, I would love to see that updated chart. He should do that. Good idea. Good idea. That's a journalist.
20%.
Those discussions are taking place with the trade team today, and again, we'll provide further guidance with that executive order once it is signed, and the answer to that question will be in that executive order.
Is he looking to provide any more extensions today after his phone call with Mexico? Is there any other conversations like that?
I do know that other foreign leaders around the world have reached out, and if the president decides to share the conclusions of those calls with all of you, he will do so himself. But I do want to reiterate what the president said about Mexico. Mexico is still paying tariffs. They're paying a 25% tariff on fentanyl, 25% tariff on cars, a 50% tariff on steel, aluminum, and copper. And additionally, Mexico has agreed to immediately terminate its non-tariff trade barriers, of which there are many. And as the president said, we will continue to talk to Mexico over the next 90 days with the goal of signing a larger trade deal. The key to this, again, is Mexico has agreed to terminate those non-tariff barriers and to continue to work with us in good faith.
I wonder if that has anything to do with tariffs, but more security on the border from both sides.
Mexico is a very unique situation of all the other countries around the world because, of course, we share our southern border with Mexico, which we've seen an increase in cooperation between Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum and our administration on clamping down on drug trafficking and human trafficking at the southern border. We appreciate those efforts and will continue to work in good faith and to continue to have these trade discussions as well. Joey.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Just clarifying on a previous question. President Trump has indicated he's been looking at either 15% or 20% baseline universal tariff. Has he landed on one of those yet?
I won't get ahead of the president on that baseline announcement.
And then secondly, what did Treasury Secretary Bessent mean yesterday when he called the new Trump accounts for newborns a, quote, backdoor to privatizing Social Security? Does the administration view this new Trump accounts as a way to, in the long term, perhaps privatize?
So if you privatize Social Security, that means they can't cut it.
Social Security.
What the Secretary of Treasury was saying and what this administration believes is that these Trump newborn accounts, which is an incredibly creative and great provision that was in the One Big Beautiful Bill for newborn babies and families
$1,000.
and future generations of Americans will help supplement, not substitute, Social Security. The Trump administration is wholeheartedly committed to protecting Social Security. The president did it in his first term. He's doing it again in this term. But these newborn accounts are another revenue stream for young people to watch their money grow throughout their lives and to one day be able to access those funds so they can hopefully build a home and live the American dream. Jake.
Just one follow-up on tariffs and then one not. Is the president at all considering extending the August 12th China deadline at all? Is that in consideration?
So look, on China, you heard from the president on Air Force One when we were returning from Scotland. You've heard from the Treasury Secretary as well, Ambassador Jameson Greer. They just spent 2 days in Geneva for their third round of talks with China. And the current policy, the current trade program that we have going with China right now as it stands will decrease our deficit by $5 billion this year. So we are moving in the right direction when it comes to China. And Secretary Bessent and Ambassador Greer continue to be in direct communication with our Chinese counterparts.
But is the deadline, is it extension on the table potentially from that August 12th deadline as it stands?
I don't think so, but I'll let the Secretary of Treasury speak on that because he's leading these negotiations. Reagan, go ahead.
Thanks, Carolyn. There's growing frustration that more of Trump's nominees haven't been confirmed. Why does the president think Senate Republicans are so behind, and has he had any further conversations with Leader Thune about it?
The president has had many conversations with his friends in the United States Senate about advancing his nominees, his judicial nominees through this process. It is critical that we get these good attorneys in these positions so that we can end the weaponization of justice, so we can have true law and order in our country. It's unfortunate the Democrats are playing political games, but the president has made it clear to Senate Republicans they need to do everything in their power to advance the president's nominees as well. Kelly, go ahead.
Caroline, thank you. 2 questions real quickly.
Sure.
Nigeria. Congressman Chris Smith, Republican from New Jersey, is calling upon the President of the United States.
How the fuck are we 7 months into the presidency and we still have cabinet members that haven't been approved by Congress? Those should be done before he even takes office. They have between November 5th and January 21st to do these confirmations.
To do something in terms of imposing perhaps sanctions on Nigeria for the persecution of Christians living in the northern part of Nigeria by radical Islamic groups. Has he contacted the president yet? And do you know if there's any action that the president will take?
I'm not tracking a call between the president and the head of Nigeria. I know the president wholeheartedly condemns the persecution of Christians or, frankly, of people of any faith all over the world, but I don't have any updates for you in terms of sanctions in this part of the world.
My second question, Caroline, deals with immigration here in America. As you know, a lot of deportation has been going on. ICE has been going after violent criminals that are here illegally, and rightly so. In the midst of that, there are some evangelical pastors who are stating that it may have gone to a point of being indiscriminate and actually getting innocent people, like members of the clergy. Has the president and has ICE looked at that to see how they can actually go after those violent criminals, but also make sure that members of the clergy are still not being deported?
Well, look, the administration has always maintained the position.
I don't give a fuck if you work for the church, if you're the Pope, or, you know, one of these fucking pedophile cardinals. I forgot.
Not being deported.
Oh, yeah. I don't give a fuck. If you're here illegally, you're here illegally. But we're all on stolen land. Stolen land.
Well, look, the administration has always maintained the position that anyone who illegally crosses our nation's borders is subject to deportation. That's just the law of the land, and we must be a nation that enforces our laws. But
in case y'all wonder why I'm so against this fucking illegal immigration, most of you know. Me and my family went through the fucking process. And it ain't quick. Promise you. And like in the case of my wife, just because you married an American citizen doesn't automatically make you an American, doesn't automatically get you a green card. You still have to apply. You got to go through the waiting process. They're vetted by the time they get here. It should be anyway.
The priority from ICE, of course, is to deport, detain, arrest, and remove violent illegal aliens and criminals from our country. And they have been doing that at the rate of thousands of illegal violent criminals every single week, especially in Democrat-run sanctuary cities where these illegal violent criminals have been given a safe haven and have essentially been immune from our nation's laws under the previous administration. That's not happening anymore because of this president and Secretary Noem in the Department of Homeland Security. And we are going to be a nation of laws. And as we've said repeatedly, if you came here illegally, you are subject to deportation. But the priority are those public safety threats that we must remove from our communities.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Two questions. So what Hamas hardens its position and Israel provides aid? Do you have any new information on the hostages that need aid too? And second question, we heard President Trump criticize President Macron and Prime Minister Starmer for their statement about recognizing a Palestinian state. What is the president's position on recognizing a Palestinian state, and will he recognize Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria?
I can answer both of those questions for you. On the second question about a Palestinian state, the president expressed his displeasure and his disagreement with the leaders of France, the United Kingdom, and Canada. He feels as though that's rewarding Hamas at a time where Hamas is the true impediment to a ceasefire and to the release of all of the hostages. So to your first...
But what if making it a state helps provide that? Ever think about that?
Question. The president wants to see all of the hostages released. He cares deeply about this. He has met with many of the former hostages, many of the families of those who have loved ones who are still being held hostage in Gaza. I have met with them too. It is absolutely devastating what these poor people have been through, and the president is always thinking about them, and that's why he's designated his special envoy Steve Witkoff, who's doing a tremendous job to release the hostages and to end this conflict. But the president has always said the last remaining hostages, now there are 20 living hostages in Gaza, will always be the hardest because Hamas is unfortunately using these innocent people as bargaining chips. But nevertheless, we are committed to seeing this come to an end.
Elizabeth. Thanks, Caroline. Part of the settlement with Brown prohibits it from performing transgender procedures or prescribing hormone puberty blockers, that type of thing. Will eliminating these types of procedures be a priority for the Trump administration in negotiations with other universities?
Should be.
I can tell you that ending the chemical castration of children in our country is a priority of this administration. We've talked to many of...
How about instead of the government paying for these chemical castrations of children, which is very, very, very wrong, and it's basically eugenics. Why don't we just take that money, right, and chemically castrate pedophiles, sex offenders? Why don't we do that? I think it's a great idea. I really do. And you know what? Instead of chemically, how about we do it like this? We take one of these, old school irons, right? Put it on a hot fire, right? Grab it with a rusty knife, saw, right? Toss it to the side for the pigs. Take that iron that's been sitting on the thing for like an hour and a half, cauterize it, and then let's see how long it takes before it gets infected and they die.
These universities about it, but the president has also taken very strong action to cut off the funding for any medical institution in this country that provides those barbaric procedures. The Brown University agreement, since you brought it up, is yet another win to root out anti-Semitic behavior on our nation's college campuses and unlawful racial discrimination. Brown has agreed to no longer allow unlawful racial discrimination.
You know how quickly, this is how you know the Jews are the problem. They put more into protecting anti-Semitic behavior, language, than any other racism issue in this country. They want to shut down that part of free speech. Don't talk bad about Israel. Don't talk bad about Jews. Don't talk bad about Zionists. Remember, Kennedy was the last sitting president that never kissed the wall. And look what happened.
In admissions or university programming, they have agreed to provide access to all relevant data and information to rigorously assess compliance with its commitment to merit-based admissions, and they will pay $50 million over 10 years to state workforce development organizations that comply with anti-discrimination laws, supporting regional economic growth and career opportunities. Brown will also adopt the definitions of male and female from President Trump's executive order, defending women and gender ideology extremism for women's sports, programming, facilities, and housing. Brown will no longer perform gender reassignment surgeries on minors or prescribe them puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones. And Brown will take steps to improve the campus climate for Jewish students and combat anti-Semitism on their campus. This is yet another huge win for American students and for those who love our country and want to abide by our country's laws. On the topic of defending women from gender ideology extremism and helping women's sports, the president will be signing an executive order at 4 o'clock today with some very famous professional athletes whom I'm sure you all know. And that executive order will be focused on strengthening athletics in our country and making America healthy again. And we are going to re-implement the presidential fitness test.
Pay attention, like they're giving more protections to protect God's chosen people. Why though? They are moving quickly on this stopping anti-Semitic language, anti-Jew language. But when it comes to, other racist words, they're like, you know what? Get over it. Imagine if they took this seriously as they did the Jews. Like if you called somebody a nigger, a spick, a white boy. I mean, there's a lot more of them than there are Jews. So why not protect all of them from hate speech, or none of them? Because unfortunately, or fortunately, hate speech is a protected free speech under the Constitution of the United States of America. Against all... Whoa. Now, when we were kids, I remember participating, trying to get this presidential fitness test award because I really wanted to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then somewhere along the lines, that kind of disappeared. And then my kid did this called a PACER test in their schools before they canceled it. My daughters loved it. My son, he's just like me. I'm going to get it done. Just worry about it later. But somewhere along the lines, that fell out. Americans got unhealthy. Our children have been getting less healthy. Well, not my kids. My kids had a different kind of mentor. But let's make America healthy again. But before we do that, I want you to meet one of the newest members on President Donald Trump's Council of Fitness.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
First, you bring back good jeans commercials. I was showing my daughter like commercials from the 90s earlier, and she's like, whoa, those are way better. And some of them were way more sexualized, like the Brooke Shields one where that's actually the first one I came across. Brooke Shields from like 1980. and she's basically rolling on the floor trying to get her jeans on. But anyway, so she did say that they were going to have a meeting at 4, and this is that meeting where he signs this executive order.
How are you?
All right, some of you may or may not know. So you have, Brooke. I saw that. I was like, God damn, she was hot. So if you look on the far left, you have Linda McMahon. This is the wife of Vince McMahon, probably one of the greatest wrestling promoters in the history of the world, but a piece of shit in the end who needs to go to jail. Then you have all the way here in the middle of the screen, you have Triple H. That's her son-in-law. They're opposite ends of the room, and then when Triple H goes to talk, he acknowledges everyone, well, pretty much everyone, except Linda McMahon.
We have a lot of athletic talent and great people behind me.
And they have the Kansas City Chiefs kicker.
Some very important things for our country. Nobody knows LT, right? LT, greatest ever.
I mean, you know why LT's there, right? Huh? I'm just going to say it. I mean, look at him. Look at the rest of the athletes, and then look at LT. I'm just kidding. They were friends. They are friends. But it just looks kind of weird.
Lawrence Taylor, you look good.
Dude, yeah, he looks...
Right now, I think LT.
He hasn't changed.
He only looked that way. Well, I'm delighted to be here with some of the truly great sports legends of all time as we formally announce the newest members of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. This is an important step in our mission to make America healthy again. It's something that's very important, what we're doing, very important. Dating back to the administration of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, this council has championed the vigor and strength and vitality of the American people.
Dude,
Today we continue that.
If you look on the left, you kind of have like some beta looking. I probably played high school tennis. And on the right screen, you got the football players, the professional wrestler. You've got RFK.
Very proud tradition. This group is led by two-time major champion and one of the greatest players in the world, one of the highest ranked. And he just had a phenomenal Open Championship, as you probably saw, shooting one round that wasn't so good. And then he came back with about a 65 or something. He was getting a birdie on every hole. They were worried he might not make the cut, and he made the cut by about 200 strokes. It was pretty amazing. And he had a great week, actually. And he's also the longest hitter of a golf ball, I think ever, but, you know, they say ever. I would say ever. And the longest in the world today, and it's Bryson DeChambeau. He's a great guy.
Never had
been my friend for a long time. And from his
our unit
story...
the CG's golf tournaments, basically teams of 4 go around the golf course, you play golf, you drink beer, all fun. I went to drive the golf cart. That's all I really did was drink beer and drive the golf. Oh, I wasn't driving golf carts and drinking. I was putting it down in between.
Amateur career where he won the U.S. Amateur, I think once or twice. Did you win it?
It was once, and then the NCAA's as well.
Okay, you won a lot of other championships, but U.S. Amateur champion. And then, as you know, he won at Wingfoot, won the U.S. Open and Pinehurst. And Bryson has always been a phenomenal ambassador to sports and to golf, but generally to life, in my opinion. He's a smart guy and a good guy, great guy, loves our country. We're also pleased to be joined by Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. Bobby, you do a great job. He's got some big things happening, and he's got some big statements to be made very shortly in terms of, over the next few months, in terms of what they've been doing and finding answers to some very...
If you look up, it's either Nestle or the Mars Corporation, one of those two, that said they don't plan on following the guidelines for RFK and the dyes, red dyes and shit that he said, hey, y'all got to take it out. And then Coke's trying to complain that, oh no, going to get sugar is going to make prices go up. No, because there's plenty of sugar cane out there.
Very important question. Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, who's phenomenal wherever you may be, Linda. Hi, Linda. What are you doing back there? And look, you've been reading about her exploits and the job that she's been doing, and we're very proud of her. Council Executive Director, Catherine Granito. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great job. And several other new members of the council, including JD is here, our fantastic vice president, and Scott Bessent, and we're making a lot of deals. We're making deals for trillions and trillions. Nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. We just made a couple of others a little while ago. I don't know if you'd be interested right now. I won't even bother telling you. This is about sports and about health. One of the best defensive players ever, I think probably acknowledged to be the greatest defensive player in the history of the NFL, a friend of mine for a long time. Too long, right, Lawrence? Lawrence Taylor, he's an incredible guy. And just been my friend a long time, haven't we? Knew him forever. One of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, a young guy still. He can kick it long. I think I guess he's considered the best there is in the business, Harrison Butker. So, Harrison, where are you, Harrison? He's a handsome guy, by the way. It's usually not my thing, but he is a good-looking sucker. One of the truly greatest
NFL history is Vanderjack.
Golfers ever to play on the LPGA Tour. A lot of people say the greatest female player ever, and a lot of people would say just one of the best players ever. She's phenomenal. I've played a lot of golf with Annika Sorenstam, and she's amazing. Just had an really storied career. Hall of Famer, easily a Hall of Famer, by the way, right at the top of the list. So it's great to have you with us, Annika, and say hello to the family. And then she was here not so long ago with Gary Player, where she got the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and so did he. He's won 168 tournaments and 18 majors, 9-9, and she's the same in terms of the women's game. But that was a great time. It was a great honor to give it to you. You really deserved it. It's the highest medal you can get outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's the military version, and the other is the Presidential Medal, and you got it. So
it's
thank you
easier
very
to
much.
get the
14-time WWE World Champion, and he's a man who you're not going to mess around with. Even Bryson said, I think I'll take a pass on him, right? You're going to take. And he's another one that's been my friend for a long time. He's really an amazing athlete, Triple H. Triple H. Here he is. Oh, that's still very strong. He's a strong guy. And it's great to have you. And you felt very strongly about this, about the council. 100%. Yep. Well, it's a great honor to have you. Offensive lineman, NFL, very respected, very smart. Cody Campbell. Thank you, Cody, very much. Thank you very much. In addition to the people here, we have other council members that want to just pay their respects. One of the greatest players and athletes ever. You could say... when you look at records, there's probably nothing like it. Tiger and Jack. This is Jack. Tiger was here not so long ago getting the Presidential Medal of...
I wouldn't consider golfers the greatest athletes.
Freedom also. He's a fantastic guy. And on the council, we have Jack Nicklaus, and he sends his regards. We have Gary Player, one of the greats. Nellie Corder, who's a phenomenal young, I think you'd say great young player, Annika, right? She's a fantastic person, too. NFL icons, Tony Romo, also a great football player. Quarterback, also a great golfer. Nick Bosa, who's, you know him, he's a modern-day version of Lawrence. What do you think? He's pretty good, right, Lawrence? Pretty good.
He's all right.
He is. Saquon Barkley was on the council, and Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback, who is really he's been fantastic. He's been when he's not injured, he's great. He's got to stay healthy.
Got a concussion issue.
And he's a great guy. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is on the commission. NFL Commissioner Gary Bettman, and the great one Wayne Gretzky is on, and a man who also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Mariano Rivera. And when I looked at his record, it was unbelievable. The Sandman, my wife said, why do they keep playing the Sandman when he walks in? And I said, because he just puts the bat.
Quite possibly the greatest closer in Major League Baseball history. But I hated him. I hated him so much. Unless he had blown saves. In which, those are great. Especially when they were playing the Red Sox.
Better to sleep. He was great. When you look at his record compared to second, and Raleigh Fingers was great, and he was really great. But when you look at the record, boy, Mariano had a record. I've never seen anything like it. He was so high up. The order that I'll sign today in a few moments directs the council to develop strategies to improve America's physical fitness and renew the American spirit.
Did you know Mariano Rivera wore the number 42? The number 42 is a jersey that is retired by every major league team in Major League Baseball, to include the New York Yankees. Anybody know why? They have a whole day for it where everybody wears 42. Jackie Robinson Day.
Excellence, competitiveness, and sportsmanship. To that end, I'm pleased to announce that we're officially restoring the Presidential Fitness Test and the Presidential Fitness Award, and it's going to be a very big thing. From the late 1950s until the 2013, graduate scholars all across our country competed against each other in the Presidential Fitness Test, and it was a big deal. This was a wonderful tradition, and we're bringing it back. I think Bryson and everybody here wanted to see if we could bring that back, and it's turned out to be very popular to do. My administration's also pressing forward with the important reforms in sports and athletics, and the group behind me and the others that I mentioned and others that I've asked to join. We have many great athletes I've asked to join the council, and we're going to let some of them come in. But they're going to also be working on college football in terms of what happened. It's a mess. What happened?
The nil?
It's what they're doing with college football, and the fans are upset about it.
Nil deals?
And players are being taken from team after team and being traded around like playing cards. And a lot of money's passing, and nobody knows what's happening. So these people behind me are going to be very much involved in figuring that whole thing out and working on it and trying to bring some sanity to that incredible, not only the football, college sports, very, very bad for women. Very bad what's happening, because now all of a sudden there's no women that are able to get the money that they're talking about.
Something else came out this past day or two. The Olympics. If you're a female competitor in the Olympics, you have to do a one-time DNA swab or a throat swab or blood swab draw to prove you're in fact a female. How about that? The Olympics. And the testing starts September 1st. So the 2026 Olympics,
you know, it seems to be going mostly to football, some basketball, and women's sports are being totally decimated. We know that, Annika, you know, with this. It's all going into football, and some to basketball, and everything else is being left behind. And women are being left behind, and lesser sports are being left behind, and the Olympics is being decimated because that was like training for the Olympics, and now we're not going to have that many of those sports left. The smaller sports, they're almost going to be completely wiped out. This is crazy what's going on. We banned men from competing in women's sports, and last week the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee announced that they will be complying with that order, so there won't be men playing in women's sports. That seemed like an easy one. They say it's an 80-20 issue during the campaign. I said, no, that's not 80-20. That's 97-3. Maybe it's 98-2, perhaps. And last Thursday, we terminated third-party pay-for-play schemes in collegiate athletics and effectively saving. We saved college sports, but now we have to make it. We have to heal it because it's really a mess. It's a real mess. This council will play an important role in shaping these new policies and ensuring that we preserve the American athletic tradition for many generations to come. And in the years ahead, we'll have the chance to showcase our nation's athletic dominance in the world stage as we host the America 250. So we have America 250, and we have, it's going to be incredible, the Patriot Games.
Oh.
We have the Ryder Cup. We have the President's Cup. We have the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So we have the World Cup here. We have the 2028 Olympics. So when they cheated on the election and they picked somebody that wasn't supposed to be there, I was very upset before that because I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup. I was the one that did it. I can't say I got America 250. It just happened to be 200. I'd like to take credit for that, but I don't think I'll be able to. But we have a big thing coming up. But I was very upset because I got them, and it was skipped an election season. And so it took place in the next term after the term that we were supposed to have. And I was extremely angry. And then when I won, I said, wait a minute, I think I just picked up the Olympics and I just picked up the World Cup. So it worked out sort of cool.
Okay.
But I want to, again, thank everybody in the council. They want to work, too. These are people that really, we only do it by request. And people, they want to work and they want to make things better. And I hope they can make college sports better. They can heal it. They can find a solution. It's not going to be that easy. But you have a lot of smart people. So I'd like to begin by introducing Bryson to say a few words. And then we'll have Triple H and we'll have a couple of.
I like it.
A country is as strong, really.
Trump
I
won.
always thought it was good to keep fitness in schools. I don't know. I think when I was at school at the time, I was just a young idiot. So, of course, I was going to do physical fitness shit just to see if I could. Because I was one of the smaller ones. And I guess that kind of stuck with me all through the rest of my life. And if there's kind of like an adult version like he was talking about, which I hope he gets into, the Patriot Games, what does that entail? Who's allowed to compete in that? I'll pick an event, any event, except for basketball. Okay, maybe basketball. I don't know. I hope this is a well-implemented program. Right? Get the kids off TikTok. Get them off their video games when they realize there's so much more fun being outside. Granted, I was great at team sports, but it doesn't mean I couldn't be a loner. A lot of times, not when it's like those team sports, those independent sports like running marathons, Spartan races. Bro, I'm going to tell you, that was like the greatest because my mind would be completely free and all I'd be thinking about was, man, I'm running through nature in a pair of shorts and some shoes. And it's 95 degrees out and it's humid. But I got to run through the forest and do obstacles. I love that shit. But now, older. Actually, I can't say I'm older because I was less than 6 years ago. I was a monster. I was called the Beast. And my daughter, who was quite physically fit, still is, she was known as the Mini Beast. Because when I would make the lazy and fat people do extra PT after work, they did what I had to do. And my daughter, because me and my daughter worked out together. And she embarrassed many of them. Especially when it came to running. And push-ups and pull-ups. I don't know. I don't know where fitness and nutrition got away with it. But maybe it was us. Because I always ate on the go. especially in the military, because you never have any time to really sit down and eat. And if you do, you're probably drinking. Now, whatever. Different world. Maybe we're coming back. Maybe America's coming back. But at the same time, don't you talk bad about Jews. Don't you talk bad about them. They did not attack the USS Liberty. Not at all. They did not attack the World Trade Center. There weren't 5 dancing Israelis on the other side of the river videotaping before the first plane hit, dancing, and then they went left, got her, pulled over, and then released. No big deal, right? And then you have the fact they won't extradite pedophiles. So if you're a pedophile in any country in the world and you want to get off scot-free, move to Israel. I showed you the video from the fucking 60 Minutes interview. I think it was 60 Minutes. So it exists. It's real. But anyway, now we're going to go from presidential meeting conferences, and we're going to go to the streets. And the first street interviewer, because it is Friday, I like to do street interviews on Friday. The first street interview is going to be your favorite, my favorite, Gun Girl.
The popular vote.
No, he didn't. That's
seen.
They were, and I would.
Okay, perfect. What are so TQ community? I like your flag. Are you part of the LGBTQ community?
I'm not.
You're not, but you're an ally. Okay, yeah. Perfect. What are so Trump was just in office, just had his 6-month anniversary being in office, right? 6-month milestone. And the last 6 months, is there anything good that he has done?
No.
No? Not a single thing?
No.
No. Okay. What about anything good in the big beautiful bill?
It's all overshadowed by what they're taking away.
Okay. What are some things they're taking away?
Medicare, healthcare.
Yeah. For who?
You're hiding your face, but you're also wearing a pin that says not a paid protester. When indeed, because there are only like 25 of you out there, you're indeed a very well-paid protester.
People on Medicaid.
What'd your sign say?
My sign says, have a copy of the Constitution.
I have one.
Do you have one?
Yep, he's my husband, so everything that's his is mine.
What my sign says.
No kings, no tyrants, and no fascists. Okay.
So
what are
this is a liberty flag from the colonial days.
Nice.
And the word liberty, most people talk about it, but they don't even know what it means, and it means freedom.
Yeah.
And we have the freedom to demonstrate right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed, and it's not about any political party, is that certain politicians are ignoring the Constitution and disobeying it. And that's what I'm demonstrating against. It happens to be the Republicans in control now, but if it was the Democrats, I'd be here too.
Okay, so how long did you protest, and what was your protest schedule like under the Biden administration?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't do any then.
Oh.
I wasn't aware of any protests then.
Oh.
But you could just come out by yourself and stand against. You know what? That's a good point. There was no organized protest in this type of demeanor and this scale that's going on now. Why is it there's this massive scale with a lot of Soros money behind it, and these big websites and these big huge donors to these protests, but none during the Biden administration?
Because during the Biden administration they weren't violating the Constitution as much.
I'm sorry?
No, they weren't.
No.
They were requiring people to get vaxxed and get shots.
No, they weren't.
Oh, they weren't doing that. Okay, we'll put in a clip right now of all of the people, all of these service members and in the military who got discharged for not getting the shot.
If active service members don't get the vaccine by December 15th, they could face punishment, including being discharged dishonorably.
It's not a requirement. That means
That was a requirement. Yeah, that's a requirement. That's what a requirement means. This is a requirement. If you don't mean it, then you get
in the
canned.
military, and they were allowed to finish out their term before they were
No,
not
they
allowed
weren't.
to reintroduce.
Oh,
They were not allowed to re-enlist.
Bullshit. They chaptered him, motherfucker. What the fuck? I know people that got chaptered.
In some cases, veterans won't get benefits if dishonorably discharged. It could also impact future employment.
Do you think that's right, though?
However,
Do you think
that's a
service
lie.
members?
No, nobody was going to get a dishonorable discharge. You have to do some fucked up shit to get a dishonorable discharge, and that normally involves you getting jail time.
And people should be forced to get a shot?
Thank you.
Okay. So I think that's very telling. He's like, I would be out here protesting any administration. Okay, so how many protests did you do under Biden? Well, they didn't do this. No, they didn't do this because who has the money to come out here and organize these things and heavily fund all of these protests that are going on? Liberals. So of course, everything that was going on under Biden didn't get protested because who has the money to come out here and do this stuff? Republicans just don't do that. What to say?
You can read it.
All right, never ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. Why do you think it's necessary to get in some good trouble?
To get the hell out of...
To get what?
To get Trump out of here.
Yeah.
You can't take me.
Okay.
You can't put me on TV.
Why?
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
You can't put me on TV.
It'll just be on our YouTube
Nope.
channel, not TV.
Nope.
Why not?
Because I don't want to.
Okay. Do you
You're
know
in
a
public.
tenet of being in public is that you can be filmed and put on YouTube?
Yeah, but I don't have to be on it.
Okay,
Right?
yeah, you can hold up your sign. Yeah. What do you think he's done that's so wrong we should get rid of him?
Everything.
And by what means should we get rid of him?
Whichever means voting him out, voting all the Republicans out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legal?
Okay. He almost said by whatever means necessary, which would have been a little touchy there, right? Okay, well, I hope you're having a good day. Do you usually come out here and protest with them?
Saturday.
What was that?
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday, and you don't want to get your voice out on camera? So he comes out every Saturday. That's great. If you guys would like to be part of the Liberty Hangout, look at the merch store. I think it'll be okay. Get that on, so check it out. Get an emoji, get a badge, and come chat with us. No king, power to the evaporate. Hey, I love that. I also love your shirt.
Good.
Where'd you get that?
I bought this from an artist in Key West at a artisan market,
Oh, I love it.
and he traded it to me for chiropractic care. And
love that.
I've been reading about souls and how the souls communicate with love.
Yeah.
So I think love wins.
Okay.
There's a power to the people, but we
Okay.
need to talk with love to each other.
Yes. This one says the cult wants us uneducated, unhealthy, broken in order to control us.
That's
When you
right.
say
Sounds
the
like
cult,
Democrat.
who are you talking about?
The people that believe that Trump knows what he's doing, he's an evil person. It's motivated by hate. He's motivated by hurting people. His father was cruel to him and destroyed him as a child. When he was 20, he was throwing hardballs at his niece, who was 6, and he was throwing them hard enough to break bones in her. He's been a horrible person his whole life, and it's getting worse. He has power, and his cult thinks he's wonderful. It's like the people that drank the Kool-Aid and died. James, they went to South America because a cult leader led them, and they all died because they're crazy.
So Trump
People
won the
that-
popular vote.
No, he didn't. Those results were completely manufactured, and it's shown that technology shows how you can change results.
Well, I heard about that.
Twice. He lost because of the electoral college. They distorted things. So he.
Okay. Well, I heard about that
He's a
happen-
loser. He's bankrupted everything he's ever done.
Bet he's
And
still
he's
worth
just
billions.
horrible, and he's
I
ruining this
heard
country.
about that
I don't
in the
care.
2020 election, but we were told that was a conspiracy theory, and we couldn't say that. Where is he going? He's over here talking about conspiracy theories that we are not allowed to believe in. So that was very
I don't
interesting.
think A lot
And
of
he
people understand. You can vote for a candidate, like I did. I voted for Donald Trump for the first time, But you don't have to agree with everything that he does. You don't. And people on the left don't seem to understand that. It's either you ride or die with him. And even though I can say MAGA to a certain extent, and that's typically the far right, but if you're a leftist in any way, you're not allowed to have a different of opinion from who's in charge, or whoever's the Democrat leader in charge. You must be loyal and subservient. That sounds more like a cult.
Literally leave? He's literally leaving. I didn't mean to make him leave. Okay, explain your shirt.
You really want me to?
Yes.
Okay. Chinga tu madre
fuck your mother. Oh.
Spanish or Mexican for motherfucker. So chinga tu maga means maga.
It means fuck your mother, but okay.
Okay, all right. I love it. Do you speak Spanish?
Not enough.
Not enough. Where'd you get that shirt?
I'm learning online.
Okay, all right. I love it. That's really funny.
To come up with.
Yeah. So it says ICE equals Gestapo. First, just for the audience, where have we seen the Gestapo before?
1930s Germany.
Are you
When
that
they were
old?
rounding up the Jews and putting them in cattle cars and sending them off to concentration camps with no due process.
And what would
Yo, that's what concentration camps are? They loaded me up in cattle cars back into June in 1999 for like 3 months and took me from place to place to place where they told me exactly what I was supposed to had to do, and I couldn't do anything deviate from that. I was in a concentration camp for 3 months.
happen at
9
those
weeks,
concentration camps?
At first, they were just rounding them up and saying they were detaining them, but then they slaughtered them, put them in gas chambers.
And so
We're not there yet, but it didn't start with gas chambers.
Okay. Do you think that's a real possibility?
I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, that place in El Salvador is not a place that I wouldn't expect, or I would not be surprised to hear that people are being, I don't know if they would do mass murder. In the world we have today, I don't know that it could be kept secret enough to allow it to happen, but
But you think if they could get away with it, they would?
I think they might.
Okay. All right. So you think ICE agents are equal to the Gestapo?
I think that they're behaving that way. I think that they swore oaths to uphold the Constitution, and they are not doing that. They are acting in violation of the Constitution, and
What part of the Constitution are they violating?
Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment. There's all kinds of places they're violating, and they're a disgrace to the badge they wear.
Okay. So should we abolish ICE altogether, or do you think it just needs to be reformed?
6 to 1, half dozen of the other. I mean, that's kind of a semantics. Abolish it and bring it back and call it customs enforcement and immigration.
So you think that ICE agents are acting like the Gestapo?
I do.
Okay. Where else have we seen the Gestapo?
So he wants to dismantle ICE, but bring a new organization. Yeah, I guess you can say organization to replace it, to do exactly the same thing. They're going to be the same people in charge. Is that guy a fucking moron? To abolish something, it needs to be abolished completely. Like the IRS.
Yeah. Where else?
Yeah.
Germany.
Germany. So like the Nazi soldiers and stuff. Yeah. And you think ICE agents are taking people for just their characteristics and stuff? And
Yes, they are.
Okay. Can you give me examples of that?
Go up. It's on TV all over the place. I'm going to have an example right here for you. I don't think so.
Well, I'm just wondering where you've seen them acting like the Gestapo.
All over the news.
Just one example.
You don't have an example. It's everywhere you look. Oh, yeah. So we're right-wing crap here.
So your shirt says,
Yeah.
unless your ancestors look like this, I can't read it because it's down below, but it says you're an immigrant?
Yeah.
You're probably
So
an immigrant.
You're from an immigrant someplace.
No, I'm from a settler.
So technically, because Filipinos came to the United States long before any other settlers, does that make me a Native American? Hmm. Hmm. They look like me, they have dark skin, but not right now. But what's up, Corey?
My ancestors were settlers. Nope. There's a difference. Okay. I would love to explain this to him, but I'm not going to follow him because he's walking away from me. There's a difference between settlers and immigrants. Settlers come to a land that is undeveloped and they settle here and they build upon a land. Who's getting it taken away?
There's going to be about 11 million people that are going to lose.
Right.
You know, whether
Sounds like
they
illegals.
make them try to work when they can't work or keep up with the paperwork, and they're making.
He's not trying to make people that can't work work. Your definition of can't means what? Because my definition would be physically impossible. And a lot of people on disability, unfortunately, can work. I can work, but they prefer I don't. He's talking about the people that are sitting there not doing anything, leeching off the goddamn sound like me again. Except for I pay bills and house car notes. Continue.
Making it more difficult for people to do the paperwork by closing down offices, firing people, so people just won't be able to get their benefits. Yeah.
It's funny
So
that
a big
cutting down
component-
all these federal jobs, making the government smaller, but then they're at the same time they're like, oh, the government is fascist. They're this, we need to abolish this, we need to abolish that. It's kind of what he's doing. When they're cutting these government jobs, that's exactly what he's doing.
Of that is where they're making a work requirement. So people who are able-bodied, don't have any disabilities, and don't have children are going to have to start working 40 hours a month. Do you think that's fair for people to have to work 40 hours a month who are able-bodied to receive welfare?
I think it depends on, like, why are they not working now?
Because the Medicaid and the welfare requirements there's no work requirement. That's why, because it's an easy paycheck.
I mean, if they're being lazy, yeah, they should work.
So he has done something good. Right?
Maybe that's a small thing.
Your sign is hilarious. There's my camera. Tell me what it says.
It says, "Dear world, we're really sorry. Sincerely, most Americans."
What do you think about the fact that most voters did vote for Trump because he won the popular election? So maybe most Americans, I don't know, because most voters did vote for him.
Well, not now. The polls are way in the other direction right now. His top score in any category is 37%. I mean, that's who approves of it.
But that doesn't really matter because most voters did vote for him. He won the popular.
Right now, if they had to pick a candidate for the Democrat side to run against Donald Trump in the next, let's say, month, since you're saying that good majority of Americans don't want him in there, let's run a vote. Put whoever you want up against there. Well, buy it legally. Not Obama, because, well, we know he can't run. But try it. I'd be curious. I really would. All these people that say they won't vote for Trump now, if we had to do an election right now, and they could run up against any other Democrat, one Democrat, who would win right now? I'm kind of upset at Trump because of his fucking Epstein ties and just lying about it. The $1 trillion in debt. But guess what? I would probably vote for him. Because he's on business. Democrats are still running on, we need to fight Trump and MAGA. They didn't learn.
Vote.
He only won the popular vote by slightly over 1%, so it wasn't a big thing. We didn't get out in the same numbers that we did in the last election. It was our fault. We should have been out there.
Why do you think people weren't motivated?
Well, I think there are a lot of people that were worried about the, about the economy, which I keep saying they voted for Trump on the basis of the price of eggs, but now look at the price of everything. So,
How much are you paying for a dozen eggs? Well, it should
Not
be
that
much
much.
less. Egg prices tumbled nearly 13% in April, the biggest monthly drop since 1984.
Should there not be any border patrol or border
Oh, no,
agents?
we have to have border control.
Okay.
And as long as it's done in conjunction with the rule of law
Okay.
and the requirements of the Constitution, I got no problem with it.
Okay. So when someone has a deportation order and they're taking people who have deportation orders and they're detaining them.
With that.
Okay, because that's the majority
What
of
they're
what's
doing.
happening.
No.
It's not. You think?
No, it's not.
Okay, because there's been about at this point I'm going to average about 500,000 to 600,000 people who have been deported from the Trump administration. You think at least 300,000 people did not have deportation orders?
What I question is, I don't know whether they should or they should not. That's for the courts to decide. But I know that they are they're going into courtrooms and arresting people that are doing exactly what the laws that are existing in this country
Right. And guess what happens in those courtrooms? Their asylum cases are denied. Hence, they're here illegally.
requiring them to do.
No.
Yes.
No, so they're going into courtrooms and they're arresting people who overstayed their visas, and they were there because they were ordered by the court to come in because they overstayed their visa. So they were having a court hearing about their immigration status, and so they are illegal aliens at that point. And so they are being arrested by ICE agents, and they are being detained, and then they're being deported. That is the law.
That's an interesting take on it. I'm going to do a little more research.
Yeah, you should.
I think people have buyer's remorse, and that's what we're out here saying. You can join us. You can vote for Trump, but you can join us now.
Okay, so you encourage some Trump supporters to kind of vocally say that they regret what happened.
Oh, absolutely. If they do, then we would like for them to be vocal. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So this is just a call for you guys. If you regret your vote, let me know down below in the comments. Or if you don't regret your vote and you're very happy that you voted for Donald Trump, hit a like on my video, share it around so other people can comment around. He has a Trump hat. Sir, did you regret your vote for...
Absolutely not. We can take each other's pictures. Look.
So she said that she thinks Trump supporters have buyer's regret and should regret their vote. And if you do...
Some of them.
Okay.
I think there's a MAGA crew, about 33% of the voters that are never going to change their mind. So, I mean, and that's fine.
Why don't you regret your vote?
That's their right.
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm a lot closer to the MAGA movement than she is. I doubt she even has any MAGA friends. But the numbers are probably closer to 5%, not 33%. Most MAGA stand with Trump, and we've expressed our disappointment in his handling of the Epstein files. You know, we thought it was sloppy, it wasn't transparent enough, but everything else about his administration so far, he's been delivering on his promises. Gas prices are down. Inflation is down. Egg prices are down. We have less war. Iran-Israel war was over in, 12 days? And our border is the safest it's been in American history. We just got men out of women's sports. We just got men out of women's bathrooms. So
no more child medical or surgical transitions in hospitals. That's been defunded.
And even American Eagle is getting rid of the morbidly obese black woman out of their ads, and they're bringing in Sydney Sweeney, a chica guapa. So it brings a tear to my eye right now what Trump's done for this country and how he's restored true American culture. God bless you, Trump.
Another thing he's done is that there was no border crossings last month. So no one came through the border and got released. There was nobody was released into our country that crossed the border illegally. That's a good thing.
You know, a lot of these people are seeking a better life.
Oh, Jesus
Why not
Christ.
help them out?
Well, shouldn't we figure that out first? If they're coming over illegally, we can detain them, figure out what's going on.
That for years and years and years.
Well, that's why we have the problem we have now, where there's illegal immigrants hurting people, and we don't vet them, and we don't know who they are coming into the country. And so that's the thing about what Trump did. No one would cross the border and then got released. They've all been vetted.
Yeah.
No, you don't know what I'm saying, do you? Okay, that's great. Thank
Her
you.
brain
I'd
shut
also
down.
encourage you to research just how many people have actually been deported. It's at the rate of what Trump's doing right now, he's not even going to surpass Obama by the end of his term.
But
So
Obama did it all in accordance with the Constitution and the rule of law.
I mean,
Did
maybe
he?
he did, but that's the thing. There's so many people in this country illegally from the Biden administration that Trump is having to amp up what's going on. And so I
This has
fully
been going on
support.
since the 1950s.
I know, but the Biden administration
Someone
really,
has to fix it.
really dropped the ball. There was just someone the other day, I believe he was from Honduras. He had his deportation order canceled by the Biden administration, and then he was caught on a ring camera sex trafficking a Chinese person
Yep.
in this country illegally. There's been so many people that have harmed others. Illegal immigrants that did not get
No doubt.
deported by
But
the
there's not-
by the Biden
but there's not
administration.
nearly as many
And so
of them
I
as
think
there
that's
are
a lot.
White Americans doing the same stuff.
And they go to jail.
fucking Christ.
So that's the thing. You have I hate it when these old women come in here and tell men that they can't talk to me. And what I really hate is when the men listen to them. Come on, men. Like,
I don't listen to women.
what is going on? I love that.
I give one of those to my dog as a chew toy. Worst idea ever.
You have a good day.
Do you have anything to respond to that?
I think it's his opinion, not mine.
Yeah, do you
It's a better
agree?
opinion.
Do you agree with everything he said about the inflation going down, egg prices going down?
Inflation is up, and his approval rating is way down, and those are not facts. I mean, so yeah.
It's actually not.
Those are
way down.
facts,
It's
so you can't
actually
argue with them.
An actual
better.
fact is his approval rating is higher than Reagan's was. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, who knows?
I have to check that way. Just like Congress. Ooh, congressional Democrats. I believe they're 21 or 17. I can't remember last time I checked, but their approval ratings are in the dumpster.
Who knows at this point? Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Okay, what are you protesting against today?
I'm not protesting. I'm here to
okay.
listen.
Oh, you're here to listen.
I'm here to listen across
All right.
differences.
What are some good things you've listened to today?
Well, that gentleman actually,
Yeah.
who told me why he's supporting Trump's policies on the border, but he didn't say anything about the methods that Trump uses.
Yeah.
So I'm less concerned about the particular ideology because conservatives come and conservatives go, liberals come, liberals go, but the methods endure. You know, the founding fathers said we should have
Well, let me stop you. What methods are you against?
I'm against methods that show concentrations of power that seem to undercut democratic processes.
Okay. Are you against the methods of illegal immigrants, the methods that they're using?
Trump's lowest approval rating across multiple different polls, his lowest is 40%, and that's Reuters. He's got one as high as 50%, actually two of them. So his approval rating is it's about right. It hasn't really dropped.
To come into our country unvetted?
Yeah, that's been a problem for
Oh,
years,
man.
and I pin the problem not so much on one party, but on both parties. We've had so much polarization that we haven't been able to decide on an immigration policy that could address the problems rather than listen to one side or the other. But because each side is so eager to listen to their own point of view, they cut out the policy, they cut out the possibility for even having some kind of policy that invited someone who was extreme, like Trump.
He's extreme? You think he's extreme?
Yeah.
And the current Senate Democrats, their approval rating is sitting at 19%. Weird.
I think he's extreme in the sense that I just said. His methods are extreme.
So what methods? Like alligator Alcatraz, you think that's extreme?
Yeah, I think that it shows a lot of callousness. It shows a lot of harshness. And I think there are other ways to enforce policies without using methods that are so callous.
So are you against jails for people who commit crimes?
No.
That's
And I
exactly
noticed
what
you
it
went
is.
Extremely, you went right to an extreme position. I support jails, but I support due process
Yeah.
for people who are subject to going to jail. That means if you do something wrong, I expect, even if you did something terribly wrong, I expect due process to allow you to speak your piece.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of a democracy is not just to defend the people who are good, they're to defend the people who are doing wrong, to give them the right to a
I want to introduce you to somebody. This is my security guard.
Hey, security guard.
How are you? How are you?
I'm Paul. Hi, what's your
if
name,
you-
security guard?
Sophia.
Sophia?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's my security guard, and if
To
you
protect
wanted
you?
to protect me, can you believe that? People want to do me harm, isn't that crazy? And if you wanted to support my security fund to be able to hire him to come around with me, you go to YouTube memberships. You can also support.
I don't know, that last guy really confused me. Probably because I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, those are one of those special protests they have. For continuing the whole No King's Day. Come on, James. Oh, I guess I missed it. Hold on, guys. Alright. It's weird, like I said earlier, if you're a Democrat, and let's say Kamala Harris is the president, well, she's not, thank God, but Democrats will go along with everything she does and act like nothing's wrong. Like, bond, word is bond. Stick through it. Vote blue, no matter who. Then you have Trump voters who, obviously, some of the Trump voters, like myself, didn't really pick him until he started picking, Ramaswamy and RFK and all those people. But you're allowed to disagree, and you're allowed to voice your disagreement against Donald Trump as the president or any Republican congressman out there. And that's the difference between us and them. They're the cult. We're supposedly a cult. However, thought processes are completely different. And just like somebody saying, well, I'm not a liberal, I'm more centrist, but I do vote left. In that fucking sense right there, you are a leftist, a liberal. Just saying. Now let's head to Huntington Beach for a different type of street interview.
A lot of talk from Democrats about losing our democracy, even though we're technically a constitutional republic. But anyways, do people really believe this? Today we're going to find out. Let's go talk to some people.
I haven't seen this one yet, so.
With Donald Trump as president, have we lost our democracy yet? There's been a lot of talk about that.
Trump. I feel like we're getting closer to it, that's for sure. I think no, but we're pretty close to it, I think.
Is that a hard question?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
I do think that we have lost our democracy because everybody is just subsiding to Trump kissing his ass and bypassing the Constitution and the laws.
I don't think so. No.
I really hate when they're saying Trump is bypassing the Constitution and the laws, but they can't give an example. Can't. Hell, I can't even think of any time that Biden violated the Constitution. But if we really want to get real about it, ever since at least 2001, since the Patriot Act, till now, with Palantir, they're violating the Fourth Amendment.
I don't think so. And as far as Donald Trump being
For your
president,
safety.
he's doing exactly what we voted him in to do.
Everything's working well. We're voting correctly. I don't think anything's being like dictatorship, like as perceived. Democracy is brighter than ever, I would argue.
People love Trump. They were not ready for Kamala at the time. So they voted for him.
Do you vote for Trump?
It doesn't matter what I
Nope.
voted for.
And I don't care, but I'm just
She might care.
I think that things are going to change.
Okay. You're hearing a lot of people saying that we're losing our democracy. Trump's president right now. Have we lost our democracy or no?
Yeah, we lost.
We lost it.
Yeah?
When did we lose our democracy?
When he came president.
Yeah. So when he was democratically elected is when we lost it? What do you see as being closer to losing our democracy?
Well, the pass of the big, beautiful bill that's going to take away a lot of rights and a lot of health care and a lot of other things. And then...
so using Congress to pass legislation?
Well, that, and then also the going after of migrants and migrant workers and stuff like that.
You ever see that show, Designated Survivor? In the beginning of the show...
I never saw it.
They have the entire...
Oh my god. This is your typical dyke. Yeah, I said dyke. That's the bull dyke.
Congress. Thank you. Everybody in Congress in one spot. And they designate someone from the Democratic Party and someone from the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And they put them somewhere where nobody knows. And then somebody blows up the entire Congress, everybody, president, vice president, everybody gets totally blown up. And then these two become the rulers.
Right.
And
what?
That's what needs to happen. Is a long story short. Yes.
Okay, I was wondering where we were going. So that we need to. You're saying we need to blow up Congress, and then who should be left over?
She wants a king.
I agree.
Who should be left over?
Do you know who should be left over? Jasmine Crockett, Hakeem Jeffries.
Oh my god.
Hakeem Jeffries. Maybe a little twinkling of AOC in there. Absolutely. Those are the people who should be left over.
Oh
not
my
a
God.
Democrat and a Republican then, just Democrats.
No, not at all.
You're saying losing our democracy, bypassing the Constitution.
Did she really pick those fucking candidates?
Absolutely. Those are the people who should be left over.
Oh,
I have to make
should be
sure.
left
But
over.
maybe I
So
misheard
I was wondering
you
where we were
one
going.
bit.
So that we need to. You're saying we need to blow up Congress, and then who should be left over?
I mean, we never want to
Who should be left over?
Do you know who should be left over? Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett. The one who blames everything on racism. Sounds like a good person.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Jasmine Crockett.
Hakeem Jeffries, who every day he looks in the mirror and says, "You are the next Barack Obama. I am the next Barack Obama. I am the next Barack Obama." The Temu version.
Crockett.
Hakeem Jeffries. Maybe a little twinkling of AOC in there. Absolutely.
Big booty
Those are the
Latina.
people who should be left over.
Oh, not a Democrat and a Republican then, just Democrats.
No, not at all.
You're saying losing our democracy, bypassing the Constitution. What are you talking about?
Well, for example, one of many examples, the whole immigration thing, citizens are being deported. That's against the Constitution. So, and no one's...
Who is a citizen that is being deported?
You know what's crazy? Let me rewind this.
Immigration. Well,
So if these two just happen to be sisters, right? Just saying. And I didn't know them, I would definitely be checking out the little sister. Because look at her. She's feminine. Dressed like a woman. A dress. Not saying that, women should be required to wear dresses. But maybe I am. Does that make me misogynist? Maybe. But look at the difference. Which one would you pick?
for example, one of many examples, the whole immigration thing, citizens are being deported. That's against
Citizens
the
are not being
Constitution.
deported.
So, and no one's...
Who is a citizen that is being deported?
Don't say McBrayo.
I don't know anyone personally, but I have seen stories online, and
Where?
I,
TikTok?
for myself, am concerned for my father, who is a citizen but doesn't speak English very well.
Said he's a
Myself,
citizen.
Do you think that they are just deporting people because they look Hispanic and they might be Americans? And if so, is it important that we have evidence to back up that claim?
yes, it is important that there's evidence.
He's deporting people without due process. You have to have due process.
I'm all for him getting rid of the criminals. But don't just grab people and take them away without making sure who they are, what they've done. You know, everybody deserves due process.
What do you mean due process?
Yeah.
For those,
right
because
to an
we might have a disagreement here.
The right to an attorney, the right to a hearing.
The right to attorney, that is for criminal courts, not for immigration. Just to clarify with you, I gotta make sure I give you good information here. Immigration is an administrative process.
But
it's civil.
They do need due process.
They don't get due process
just to
for
grab people. If they're just grabbing people and we don't know, are they really illegal or not? There's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors saying that they're grabbing American citizens and taking them.
Speculation, rumors,
who
guys.
though? You know, that's the next question we got to ask, right? Like, who did that happen to?
I don't believe everything I hear.
Right.
But
same here.
But is it happening? We don't know. With the way that this.
If the Trump administration's ICE, Department of Homeland Security, had indeed arrested and deported an American, that would be all over the news. Now remember the fucking former service member that was doing security on the weed farm where they had children working? He was detained. He was Hispanic. He was released 3 days later, but he was released, not deported. Is that the incident you're talking about?
Radical president.
Any evidence?
Yeah, they had that one guy that they took without. I don't remember his name, and a senator had to go over there to El Salvador and try to get him out of there because they sent him over there to El Salvador prison with no due process or anything, and he was a citizen.
Kilmar Garcia was in the country illegally. He was also very likely an MS-13 gang member.
I don't know.
Let's be honest. Most coffee gives you a quick hit info street that go to now. Make sure I will put a.
Find out, are they an illegal alien?
Let's get back into this video.
You have to give them some process. Find out, are they an illegal alien? Send them away.
If they're not in the system and they're in the country illegally, then they get sent away.
But I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of reporting saying that they're just grabbing people and send them over there. Trump's building this like a concentration camp in Florida. Oh. And then he wants to open Alcatraz again, reopen
What is the difference between a concentration camp and a detention facility for people to be deported at? Do you see any difference there?
The way this, yeah, there's a difference, but it's kind of the same.
Are they putting them there for forced labor and they can't get out?
Don't know.
Have we lost our democracy yet, or are we going to?
No, it's already gone.
Okay, so what caused the loss of democracy?
Trump. There's nothing left to vote at. Look at what's happening right now.
So are you not going to vote in 2026?
So here's the thing.
We'll vote because we need somebody who's going to be able to repair all the damage that Trump has done.
But if you lost your democracy, then how would you?
This damage President Trump has done. Pretty substantial, guys. Pretty substantial, right? How come we can name shit we don't like that Trump's done, but they can't? And the shit that we complain about Trump is legit.
Be able to vote.
We have not had a real true option of candidates to vote for since Obama and McCain.
I don't think we've lost our democracy.
Have you heard about these arguments being made?
Yes.
Primarily from folks on the left, and I'm curious, why do you say no?
Well, I think because he still has a cabinet, and he was voted in, so I guess that would be the reason.
We just talked to somebody that said the democracy has ended, but they said that they're still going to vote in 2026. Does that make sense to you?
No,
nope.
Really.
Okay.
There's always sore losers, and that's just the way I see that. She's saying that because maybe perhaps her party didn't win. And you know what I mean? Maybe she feels like she got railroaded or something.
Really quick, though, if we've lost our democracy, what's the point of voting in 2026?
There's really not at this point. That's what it comes down to. Do you know what the point is? It's keeping America, America.
Keeping it
and
free.
whether it means anything at the end of the day doesn't matter, because these are our traditions, these are our rules, and we will get back to that America at one point.
Although voting does keep Newsom. Newsom is your governor, who's just as bad. Actually, he's actually way worse than Donald Trump. Let me get that straight out there. They're not even comparable. What's up, Ben Fam? How you doing, brother? You as well. And Zippity.
Point in time.
How do you feel about this? I mean, what's the direction here for the next, 2 to 4 years? Do you think that we'll lose it by then, or no? Where are you at on this?
I hope not, but it sure feels like you've read the book 1984.
Yes.
It feels like we're heading in that direction.
Why are we close to losing our democracy?
I mean, honestly, I'm not too versed in it. No, I try to take politics not too seriously, but then, sometimes it affects your backyard, and then you kind of have to take it seriously, like with all the ICE situations, things like that. I live in Santa Ana, so that seeing things happen literally down the street from myself, it definitely doesn't give you hope that we still have a democracy. But I'm hoping it gets better. I don't know.
I'm curious your perspective on that, because it obviously hits home there. When it comes down to enforcing immigration law, deporting the people that are in the country illegally, what part of that is threatening democracy?
I mean, Santa Ana specifically, and I know Los Angeles, it's home to sanctuary states, and I don't think people should be afraid to leave their house.
No
even
shit,
if
Ben Fam.
they're illegal here or not. Negatively impacting those people, it doesn't really benefit the USA as a whole.
So that's the part where it's like that
I
is
think
threatening democracy.
I think there's bigger fish to fry, and then we're not doing that.
I mean, I don't think that anybody should be in the country illegally, because that's part of the whole process of becoming American and being a citizen here.
Holy shit.
But the way...
So I guess a report just came out that just in the month of July, Russia lost 20,000 soldiers and has lost 120,000 since the beginning of the war. Huh. But no numbers on Ukraine, Donald?
that they seem to be going about it is just kind of crazy. Unmarked vehicles, not identifying, not wearing badges, wearing masks to protect their identity.
Is that the part to you that is anti-democracy, or no? Is it the whole is it the whole process? What are your thoughts?
That's definitely part of it.
A lot of them we need, especially the ones on the farms. Vet them, find out their record. Do they have any record here? Are they committed any crimes? If not, give them temporary worker status. Give them a social security card.
Doesn't that encourage more illegal immigration if we're rewarding people for coming in illegally?
No.
Is enforcing those rules, though, is that a threat to democracy, going back to the point? Like, is enforcing immigration law, basic immigration law, is that really a threat to democracy?
Obama deported more people than anybody.
Oh.
It's not a threat.
Okay.
You know, they
just
should
have a problem with it, but it's not a threat.
No, just kind of the way they're doing it. They need to do it the right way.
As for threats to democracy, though, I mean, this is a debate about immigration and enforcing fairly basic immigration laws, by the way. Is that a threat to democracy? Is that losing your democracy?
When I'm working, I have people come up and tell me that are white American ladies that I'm Hispanic. I'm the only Hispanic working. And they're telling me, you're going to get deportated. And I'm like, no, I'm
Oh
not.
my God.
It could be racist, but
Don't you guys hate it when you get deportated? Deportated. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Just this once.
In Huntington Beach, I'm not worried at all.
Do you guys think it's game over for my cameraman? Is he gonna get deported?
let me hear your accent.
My accent?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Or my Spanish?
I think it's based on the racial profiling.
Is it game over for Eric here, or is he okay?
You have to take your ID with you everywhere you go.
What was the marker that said to you we lost our democracy officially? What was that? What was that benchmark? What was that point?
Well, that was a while ago, but recently it was like Trump getting rid of the public broadcasting system, which is run by the people. So him saying we're getting rid of it, Sesame Street is gone because Elmo basically said F Trump. So hey Elmo.
Did he?
Did he really say fuck Trump? I don't think he said fuck Trump.
Really say? Isn't it a children's show? Why was he saying that?
Well, he didn't say those words, but he said very similar words.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, I missed this. Have we lost our democracy? That was the question.
I don't think I've actually looked at what he really said.
that wanted to vote for him, and the people that didn't vote for him voted for somebody else. So
I just had somebody telling me that we have lost our democracy. What are your thoughts about that? What does that mean?
I don't think we've lost our democracy whatsoever.
We voted him in, and a lot of people are upset now that he's doing exactly what we voted him in to do.
Yeah.
And people are getting mad about it, ICE and everything else. That's what we voted him in to do.
Oh, maybe he did.
I say we because I voted.
We keep hearing that phrase, though, threat to democracy, threat to democracy. You don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut in, but, I already thought about it. I had to look it up. Oh, let's see what Elmo had to say. He did say fuck Trump. He also said, all Jews should die. Fuck Jews. Donald Trump is Netanyahu's puppet because he is on the Epstein files. Jews control the world and need to be exterminated. Elmo also said, release the files at real Donald Trump, child fucker. And then the final message. Elmo says, kill all Jews. All right, Elmo. All right. So I guess Donald Trump is not Hitler, according to Elmo.
Buy that?
It's a buzzword that they're using to threaten everybody with the democracy. No, they all vote for everything. The Republicans they've got the pendulum and it's swinging that way. When people don't like it that way, they'll swing the other way. And unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't go too far in either way.
I'd like to pose a question. Did we ever have it?
Did we ever have a democracy?
Yeah.
Technically, we're a constitutional republic, but that's maybe besides the point for the video.
I don't know if we ever really had one.
We've heard that.
I kind of think that, our vote doesn't really even mean much, to be honest with you. Just because I feel like there's so many people that are like...
He's drinking my new favorite Ghost flavor. There's a Ghost flavor that is Welch's grape soda. That is by far the best flavor out of all the energy drinks I've drinking. And I started drinking when fucking Red Bull was just a little cans, and then Monster came in the blue or the green. And the blue is supposed to be low calorie, but that one made me gain more weight.
Up in control and everything like that. Oh shit, my bad. It's okay. No matter what we say and what we vote, I don't think it matters too much.
You watch any congressional hearing, you watch any
I do.
hearing on the House, you're going to see a room full of Democrats who are trying to debate on a real, live, intelligent basis.
No, they're
Republicans don't
debating
even
with Donald
come
Trump.
because they know they're going to win. They show up to vote, and that's it. They aren't even entertaining the discussions anymore. That is where the root of democracy ending comes from, 100%.
I'm so curious about that, you guys, because in areas all over the country, even in Congress...
Right. No, she's saying the Democrats aren't even entertaining, the debates. So are they, in fact, killing democracy? They don't even want to hear it. They're just going to vote?
When there's been a Democrat majority, supermajority, whatever it may be, Obamacare is one thing. You're not working with the other side. You're pushing that agenda that the American people at that time voted for, right? Do you have as much of a problem with that when Democrats have a supermajority? Or let's say California. Are they working with Republicans in California, or do they just have a supermajority and they can do what the voters want them to do?
I'm not from California, so I can't speak to local politics
you see what I'm
here.
saying, though?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. What I do know is
there a
that-
problem with that?
With what?
If they have a supermajority, if Democrats have a supermajority, them pushing their agenda, you don't have a problem with that?
No.
Then why do you have a problem with Republicans doing it?
It's crazy when I look at, I'm not saying this is bad, but these ladies are obviously much older than me. I mean, I hope they are, because if we're the same age, Jesus fucking Christ! But their shirt says together since 2014. That's cute. I used to do this to people all the time when they tell me when they were married. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. Me and my wife have been together since 2000. That's why I always say that's cute. It's a long fucking time.
On my words completely.
I'm trying to clarify with what you're saying.
Both parties can absolutely push their agendas.
Right.
That's what they're there for. That's
Right.
what we, the people, voted them in to do, right? The public's interest in their specific regions.
She just
districts,
said
et
it.
cetera.
They're trying to push their agendas, the politicians' agendas, not the people's. She just admitted she voted for the people and votes because they have their agenda. But it's not necessarily their agenda because did they vote for the agenda? Does that make sense? Anyone else's mind but mine? I feel like it does.
Why are all those people coming here? It's not just Mexico. It's from all of South America coming here.
It's a lot of Central America, actually, over the last 4 years.
South and Central America is what I'm talking about. They're coming this way. Why?
They want a better life, obviously.
Well, a lot of it is because their life is in danger. El Salvador has cleaned it up.
Their life is in danger.
I talked to a lot of people over there.
Yeah, but you don't need to travel 1,500 miles and across 20 different countries. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. You don't need to travel across 20 different countries to get away from your one country. They're coming to the United States because we're the world's soup kitchen.
I don't know about that. They're illegal, so they don't want to go ask for government handouts like I believe people lie.
They get them, though.
Government handouts.
They get health care for free. Do you get health care for free?
Why are they going to go ask for
I don't.
stuff when they have a chance of getting deported?
Let me phrase
Do you
that.
get health care for free?
I do get health care for free, but at the same time, my family doesn't, so I purchase health care.
I don't believe that, dude. I don't believe that these people go and ask
Oh,
for
this is Huntington Beach. Family, aren't they a little more conservative?
government assistance because that's a good way to get deported. They don't want to get deported.
They cost taxpayers about $150 billion per year minimum.
I don't believe that either.
That's okay.
We're not going to agree on that, man.
Well, you don't believe anything.
I guarantee you and me, let's go try to apply. Say we're illegal. Give us some free health care.
Oh, you're denying that program exists?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can just look it up. Look it up on your phone right now.
Give us some free health care. Give us some free money, free food. See what happens.
You want to look it up right now?
They're going to look for IDs.
You want to look it up right now? No. Illegal immigrants can get IDs in the state of California.
And now they can get it in Minnesota.
They can get IDs. You want to look up how much California spends on illegal immigrants?
Minnesota signed it to where an illegal can.
No?
Anybody can get a driver's license.
We can just be curious and check it out.
I'm not. They've never hurt me. This has been happening for all my life.
I just talked to a guy yesterday. His son.
He's saying, "Hey, let's find what you're saying is true," and the dude doesn't want to do it. Like if somebody said, "Hey, you said this wrong," I'm gonna look it up.
Was killed by an illegal immigrant, somebody that was in the country, and if we enforced basic immigration laws, that wouldn't have happened. He would still have his son. What would your message to someone like that be?
Stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
Look at Chicago, all the people killing each other there. Here, that aren't illegal, killing each other here.
Right. So add more?
Americans. Why is that going to add more? Just because they're illegal? That means they're going to
not supposed to be in the country in the first place.
So they're going to kill just because they're illegal?
Well, that's what happened to him.
Aren't we all illegal?
No.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. So, yeah.
I hate that fucking argument. Aren't we all illegal? Aren't we all in stolen land? Well, no, we're not. Hold on. Where the fuck did James put it? So that was, like FinFam said, I'd like to see more street interviews done in LA. What's that other place? It's in the south, not San Diego's a lot of Navy, so they might be different. The fuck is that place in the south? I can't remember. And unfortunately, that the way these people think, a lot of them do live around these bigger cities. They do vote this way, and oh, sorry. And when people say that votes don't matter, then why are they trying so hard to get illegals the ability to vote? Think about that. If votes don't matter like they say it do, why are they pushing so hard to get illegals the ability to vote? You don't have to prove you're a citizen. What's up, Angela? Can anybody answer that? I just thought about that. So O'Keefe just released a video that I haven't watched yet, so we're going to blind react to it and see what this is all about.
Do you know when the ICE raids are going to happen?
Yeah, and so my organization runs a couple of databases where we can see like ICE trends, like where they're keeping people, where are they like moving people around. We keep track of everything that's happening with ICE. As much as like information as they'll give us. Sometimes we have to like sue them to get information.
Who's your main donor?
It's usually like foundations, like the Gates Foundation, or Jeff Bezos, or like some of these like huge philanthropists who like have millions of dollars.
And Vera is proud of their work. Santiago Muque candidly shared how Vera created notification systems to alert illegals of ICE agents and impending raids.
These organizations, at worst, they could be setting up ICE officers to be put into dangerous situations where they are harmed.
10 people are facing charges for their roles in the shooting of an Alvarado police officer at an ICE detention center.
Weapons, tactical gear, and graffiti. They say were part of a violent planned ambush at the ICE detention facility in Alvarado.
Mass deportation of illegal immigrants has been one of President Trump's primary promises since his 2016 campaign.
We will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
Now, under Tom Homan, President Trump's border czar, federal agents have been going city to city, from home depots to churches, detaining and deporting thousands of illegal immigrants. Now, in response, a makeshift alliance from Silicon Valley to K Street, including activist judges, have intervened to provide everything from sanctuary to apps to help illegal immigrants evade law enforcement.
The FBI has just...
You know, there's that app that was invented to basically, it's like a Waze. I think it was called Waze, but for ICE. And I think it's online now. And guess who invented it? Who developed it? Can anybody guess? Anybody? Anybody? No? A Jew.
Arrested a Milwaukee judge accused of trying to help a man evade immigration authorities.
Judge Hannah Dugan did make her initial appearance this morning. She was charged with 2 federal crimes. That includes concealing a person from discovery and arrest, and the second count is obstruction of federal proceedings.
The worst offenders have been nonprofits such as the Vera Institute of Justice, named by Progressive Magazine Mother Jones as one of the oldest, largest, and most prominent pro-immigration nonprofits in the country. Founded in 1961, the Vera Institute of Justice focuses on criminal justice reform, and under the Biden administration, they industrialized the use of federal grants to empower illegal immigrants. And Vera is proud of their work. We know this thanks to their Associate Director of Advocacy, Santiago Muque, who bragged to one of our undercover journalists about his fine-tuning of their immigration department, from crafting strategy to managing media engagement and even shaping public policy.
What have you experienced in regards to that with the foundation that you work for, the nonprofit?
Yeah,
it's a think tank, right?
Yeah, it's called the Vera Institute of Justice. They mostly do criminal justice reform, but also, like, now they're growing their immigration arm, and that's why they brought me on, and it's been pretty great.
Mr. Muque candidly shared how Vera created private group chats and notification systems to alert illegals of ICE agents and impending raids.
Do you know when the ICE raids are going to happen?
We know which states are being targeted, and there's been some really great work that has been done to create notification systems and things like that, where if you see someone, you can text the group, and then it'll go on a website and things like that, so people can avoid the area. There's a website where you can find them.
And then you guys have this website and you tip people off and everything.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Muque says Vera is actively notifying illegal immigrants where ICE is operating, a potential violation of Title 8 U.S. Code Section 1324, which states it is a federal crime for anyone to knowingly conceal, harbor, or shield from detection an illegal immigrant. Mr. Mouquet also revealed that Vera is storing databases and trends of ICE locations. These databases directly include where ICE keeps, moves, and even detains illegals, leaving officers exposed to potential ambushes like the foiled assassination plot in Alvarado, Texas on the 4th of July.
And so my organization runs a couple of databases where we can see like ICE trends, like where they're keeping people, where they like moving people around. We keep track of everything that's happening with ICE. As much as like information as they'll give us. Sometimes we have to like sue them to get information.
Vera's strategies have been mirrored by other pro-immigration groups like Catholic Charities USA, which was recently caught coaching illegal immigrants how to dodge ICE raids and evade federal agents. Vera's time operating in the shadows may soon be coming to an end, according to Jessica Vaughn, Director of Policy at the Center for Immigration Studies. Now, Jessica has 30 years of experience advising on immigration policy.
I think that the Department of Justice under Pam Bondi and the Trump administration is already onto the Vera Institute, since they have pulled back about $5 million in their funding. You know, the Vera Institute should be on their radar for a number of different reasons, but in particular because they seem to be sympathetic to and willing to encourage people who are actively resisting ICE. It's wrong to characterize harboring illegal aliens from immigration enforcement as some kind of like underground railroad type of activity. These organizations that are encouraging people to resist ICE are setting it up so that the law is going to come down harder on the people who are resisting. But at worst, they could be setting up
the
ICE
fact that we see people that are trying to resist. I need to put this on the big screen. I forgot what I was going to say. Holy shit. It'll come back to me.
Setting it up so that the law is going to come down harder on the people who are resisting. But at worst, they could be setting up ICE officers to be put into dangerous situations where they are harmed.
Despite claims by immigration experts like Mrs. Vaughn and President Trump's border czar Tom Homan, Joshua Aaron denies this app has been used to dox or obstruct federal agents. This is the developer of the ICE Block app, used to show the location and vicinity of ICE agents.
Does the app encourage anyone to do anything illegal?
Absolutely not. Our whole thing is inform, not obstruct.
I got a good memory. Remember, this is live reaction. This just happened while we were talking. This is the guy. How is he not going to get in trouble for aiding and abetting?
In fact, multiple times throughout the app, it
That's
says...
what I was going to say. All these motherfuckers that trying to prevent ICE from picking up these illegals, especially these criminals, you might want to rethink the way you associate with those people if you just happen to know them, because they're the same ones that will most likely shield a criminal, a real criminal, a murderer, a rapist, a child predator. They would most likely shield those motherfuckers from the police as well. I'm just saying.
For informational purposes only. At no time are we encouraging violence. At no time are we encouraging any kind of interference with law enforcement. So to those who say this app is doxing somebody or this app is going to cause violence against law enforcement, there's literally no way to do that, right? So there's no way to dox somebody in the app, because the term doxing is, to reveal personal information about somebody. This is tap on the map. It brings up a citing sheet already filled out for you. You tap the continue button and you're done.
How does Vera fund these potentially illegal activities and Mr. Mouquet's salary? Well, though their donations are private, Mr. Mouquet revealed at least two of their top donors, billionaire Jeff Bezos and the Gates Foundation.
So we're no longer funded by any government. Right now it's just...
So at one point they were funded by the government. That would mean we were supporting this.
funding or just kind of like the money that the organization, like donations and things
That's
like that.
amazing. Who's your main donor?
It's usually like foundations, like the Gates Foundation or Jeff Bezos or like some of these like huge philanthropists who like have millions of dollars.
Now, in a statement to OMG, Vera denies Jeff Bezos is a donor, but his ex-wife, on the other hand, publicly revealed she donated to the Vera Institute of Justice in an article published in March of 2022. And on Vera's 990 tax form for that year, it includes the largest single donation of over $188 million from an anonymous person, but the person is not named. Scott received $38 billion in Amazon stock on the divorce and has since given away $19 billion to progressive campaigns and nonprofits. Now, as for the Gates Foundation, headed by billionaire Bill Gates, their website reveals Vera received a $4 million grant in 2023. Despite this admission, Vera denies that any of those funds go towards their immigration work. During the Biden administration, Vera kept a cozy relationship with the U.S. government, resulting in a total of $350 million of taxpayer funds being granted to help illegals resist deportation. President Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi cut Vera's funding in April, slashing $5 million from their budget. The DOJ says Vera, quote, no longer effectuates the program goals or agency priorities. Vera is currently suing the Trump administration to reinstate their federal funding. Despite the director's statements to the contrary, when reached out for comment, Vera denied tracking and notifying illegals about impending ICE raids or providing direct legal or social services, but happily admitted that they do use an ICE database to track detention trends, and that other unnamed organizations like them have tipped off illegal immigrants, something that Tom Homan and others say put federal officers in danger.
The job's already dangerous, but when you're out there tracking ICE movements and giving people heads up they're coming, that just puts the danger at a whole new level.
Vera also claimed our story, based on direct quotes that came from the guy's own mouth, their director of advocacy, quote, duplicitously and unethically mischaracterized their work. We have no idea what that means. We don't believe anything about this report, his quotes, us reporting what he said, reaching out to them for comment, and putting both sides' opinions does any duplicitous or unethical mischaracterization. This is a breaking story. We look forward to reporting more, and if you're on the inside of any government agency, NGO, federal, state, local government, and you see corruption and you
stand by my statement. If you're going to aid and abet illegal immigrants, especially some of them we know they're getting arrested for some serious crimes, I think 300,000 of them were criminals. Maybe it's a different number, but I know like 19,000 was sex crimes. Maybe I know it was a substantial number. Right now I can't remember the numbers. Huh. And look who's funding them. And in a way, if we buy from Amazon, we're funding this. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o! It's crazy. I'll have to look. Actually, there's a whole lot more I want to look into. So expect some different type of streams coming up, because now I want to look into more stuff that I came across the other day. But I'll still do some updates on current events. You see what I did there? I did a Mitch McConnell. And most recently, Senator Kennedy. Can't remember Kennedy's first name. I know, Carmen, I'm the same. I get a week or a monthly subscription for vitamins. So, I didn't realize this, that when I used to take the pill multivitamins, I would always get really bad headaches. And I was like, man, I need the vitamins, but they give me headaches. So sometimes I just would go without them. And I brought this up to my doctor at the VA, and she's like, well, have you tried liquid? And inside my mind, I'm like, I am the stupidest motherfucker alive. And she said, because in the pills, they have these fillers and stuff in them that can create the headaches. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn it, I'm one stupid motherfucker. And then she said it. She says, in liquid, there's a lot less fillers. And I'm like, I'm 43 fucking years old, and I just realized that. I was in medicine for 20 plus years, and I just realized that. I'm a fucking moron. Plus, it absorbs into your body a lot quicker than a pill would. And since I started taking this, I've never had another headache due to vitamins. Crazy shit. And if you do take a multivitamin and you do have that headache issue, consider switching to a liquid. I highly recommend it. See? Sometimes you get good tips here. Good tips. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed what I have presented for you today. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you obviously know there's a comment section at the bottom of every video. And I'm not telling you how to think. I mean, I do give you guys some good information, but that's not me telling you how to think. I'm just telling you to think because, well, what's the purpose of living if you just told what to think? Mindless zombies. Mindless. Maybe brains. Okay, I'm done. Have a good weekend. I think my wife's off tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm coming tomorrow. I just realized maybe not this weekend at all. It is SummerSlam weekend. You know wrestling's fake, right? Yes. Yes, I do. Do you know all of Hollywood movies and shows are also fake? Huh? You ever thought about that? Huh? Huh? It's a favorite show of mine. Just like I watch wrestling. I watch, it's background music for when I'm playing MLB baseball. Don't tell anybody. Or Civilization. I like to conquer the world. And now they added Genghis Khan. Whoo-wee. I'm tired of conquering the world as Benjamin Franklin. Forgot where I was going. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I am going to play one last video, and this is interesting. Let me find it. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, of course it's not there. I have my new favorite. I don't like this guy. Don't do it. Oh, it wasn't him. Fuck. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, fuck. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck. Anyway, I'm not going to look for it. In a place like this,
I don't know. I'm just.
Sometimes
I'm just over all the
Shut up.
drama. I just want.
In this specific community, you would think that you'd be more inclined to not have young children running around in the background, or 2 rooms away, occasionally running into your room while he said somebody's watching them. But not having headphones and using speakers, and everything that you were saying, that we were talking about, was heard. Whether you think so or not, all the sexual talks we had about you and your alternate behaviors, you still kept the speaker up. And then you started getting louder. That pissed me off. And it should have pissed off a lot more people. No. Fuck that dude. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know, and I'll show you. Other than that, that's all I got. All I got. Anyway, y'all have a good rest of your weekend, and I shall see you in the future. Future. Yeah. I did say have a good day, weekend, right? Yeah. I stand by what I said. I always do.